I know it is a surprise. I am actually going to craft and chat along. Just trying to figure out how to, guys, I have not managed to figure out my whole thing going on here. But I did get my connection fixed, which that was a whole ordeal. And let me see if I can. I don't know if anybody's going to join me because I didn't plan it. But I'm going to see if I can share it. So I hope you guys are all doing good. I have, you guys, I'm not totally completely settled. My house is a big old mess. My house is a big old mess. Anyway, I'm gonna see if I can share the link. Let me see what I've got going on here. But let me see. But I thought I'd come on and craft and chat with you guys and let you know what's going on with me. And hopefully in the next maybe week and a half, I'll give you guys a little house tour. It has been, you guys, I can't even tell you how ridiculous that it's been for me. It has been completely ridiculous, and I will fill you in on it. Just give me 1 second. I'm going to try to post this in my Crafting Mamas Facebook group, which, you guys, I'm so sorry. I have been just trying to get through. You know, I didn't realize how much decompressing I really needed. I sincerely needed serious decompression. I mean, I did not realize that move stressed me out beyond, it was so ridiculous. And I think sometimes I just didn't even know how stressed out I was. I think I just sort of compartmentalized it. And you've been waiting for me. Well, my hottie's been on me. Hey, Shelley, how are you? Okay, I shared it in our Facebook group. I'm just going to glue and chat, and I hope you're good. I hope you're good. I shared it in our Facebook group, and then we'll see who shows up. So I love my new house. I love it. Let me see if I can fix this. I don't know how, you guys, I do not know how to fix. Hey, Tarish, I don't know how to fix my auto focus. You guys, I got a new old camera. It's not it's a cool camera. I'm not saying that I don't like it, but I do. I got it's like a Logitech one, but I think I have to update my computer to get it to, I don't know, you guys, I'm just so out of it. But I'll tell you guys everything that's going on with me. Give me 1 second. I will tell you what is going on. And hopefully in the next week, I'll be able to give you guys a house tour. It's been, I just want to share this with one more person, because when I don't share it, then I get why didn't you tell me? And you guys, it's not because I don't want to tell you. It's because you guys, I'm here we go. All right. Shared it with who I can share it with at the moment. So, hi, Penny. How are you? So, all right. let's get down to, let me get some glue in. I did order my Restoration Hardware catalogs. You guys, those are some of my favorite to use. So, and you guys, I think my camera might be upside down. Let me see. Is my hand? No, I guess it's not. I don't know. I guess this is just backwards. Hey, Jamie. So I ordered my Restoration Hardware catalog so that I have some collage fodder, because you guys, I let go of everything, which is not a bad thing. And I do have a couple of Nat Geos, but I love this Restoration Hardware. Don't ask me why. I just do. So I'm just going to cut out some stuff. And then I got my new Harbrace college handbook to do, because this is my old one and it's pretty used up. So I got a new one. Super happy about that. I did order that for myself because I gave all mine away. Hi, Mary Lou. Hey, Dana, Liz. It's me. So I'm just going to relax and cut and glue. And yes, I only have big scissors. No comment. I have the extra large big scissors now. Well, let's see. Where can I start? Well, we have officially been here. We got here in the middle of January. So it's been, what, about 6 weeks, maybe 5 weeks. I found a school for my daughter, which is awesome. She loves it. It was kind of a difficult find, because when we got here, you guys, everything was snowed in, and it was, they missed, I think school was out for like a couple of weeks because of the snow. You know, I'm used to living, before I moved to Hawaii, I lived on the East Coast, and I'm used to snow weather, but I wasn't used to the kind of snow weather they have here. They just wait for it to melt. So so it shuts everything down pretty much. So we found a really good school for her. You guys, it's an outdoor school, and you guys, she's thriving. She like loves it. They don't have any internet or anything, and their classrooms are all outdoors, which made it a bit of a challenge when it was super cold. Means we had to get a whole bunch of long johns. So that was good. So that's been one really good thing. Okay, I'll tell you a really bad thing, which, I think it can happen to anybody, but you guys, I'm not an innately confrontational person. I'm an innately just honest person, just like sometimes without a filter, which I have, sometimes it just comes out, right? But I'm not a confrontational person. And I mean, if I have to be, I will, but it's not one of my favorite things. And our house sitter, it was like, it kind of turned out to be a little bit of a nightmare. So we got here, and although I was super grateful for the person that house set for us, you guys, I couldn't get her to leave. It was very strange. It was very, very strange. So I finally got her to leave just at the end of the month. I think she left in the 20 something of February. And it was, you guys, it's one thing if you have somebody house sit for you that that is like your friend, that it's totally different when it's like, I don't know. It was almost like she was just a little bit too comfortable in our house, and kind of like thought, well, hey, you guys have room. I'm just going to stay. And I was like, so finally, and at first I didn't really think anything of it, because when we first got here, she said, oh, I'm leaving on the first week in February. She's a tattoo artist. She said, I'm going to do one of those like Kawaii Con, or, like one of those like anime things. And so I didn't really think, at that moment, I was like, okay, well, that's only like a couple of weeks from now. That's not a big deal. You know what I'm saying? I had so much stuff to do, you guys, just dealing with the school and the weather. And just getting yourself set up in a new house and, like all the, you know what I mean? It's just a lot. Well, the first week of February came and went, and she was still here. And I was like, I was having some straight up talks with her about like, what are your plans? And, where you go, I felt like I was being very forthright. And I finally had to just say, when are you leaving? And she gave me a date, and I said, and I held her to it. It was kind of very weird because I could tell she was trying to play Blake and I against each other, like saying one thing to one. And I was just, you know me, guys, I was very encouraging. I said, I think it's going to be great. Good luck with your new stuff. But it was, yeah, both he and I were like, oh, never again. Oh, I appreciate the thumbs up. So that was one thing. Hey, Carla. Hi, Deb. Mary Lou. Dana, love you. Dana, how are you feeling, girl? Oh, I did change the locks, Dana. We did. We did change the locks. But what's weird was that, okay, guys, for us, this house is a mansion because we lived in a tiny, tiny house in Hawaii. And we have 3 floors. Well, 4 if you count the basement, but we have 3 floors, and Blake has a big art studio, and I have a big space for an art studio. I also have an outdoor art studio, which I haven't even begun to deal with yet because it needs heat and it needs electricity. Anyway, so I'm sure to somebody looking in, we have all these extra bedrooms, right? This house has 7 bedrooms. And so from somebody looking in, they're just like, oh, well, you've got plenty of room, right? And I'm assuming that's what she thought. I mean, I don't know for sure, but you guys, I worked hard for this house. I worked really, really hard for this house. And, and I expressed that to her too. I said, I've really worked hard for this house. And I said, I encourage you to do the same for yourself, Anyway, she brought so much stuff into our house that it was like, and I guess because I didn't really know, because she was in one of the bedrooms that I never went in. I mean, I went into it before we bought it, but she was in there by the time I came back, so I didn't really go into that room. You guys, she had so much stuff in there as if, like when I've house set for people, I've house set for people. You bring a small suitcase, you bring a small suitcase, you bring a few things. You don't, you guys, she had so much stuff. It was like, it was horrible. And I was like, ugh. Anyway. So I didn't really have it's going to sound terrible, but I didn't have the privacy to even live stream. It's like, I think I tried once, and I don't know what kind of computer program she was using on her computer, but the bandwidth was crap. And it was too much of a hassle because with her around, the dog would bark all the time, and it was just a lot. So, yay, we got rid of our house guest. And we both had a very serious conversation with each other afterwards and said, never again. Never, never, never. What? Sorry, I'm here listening. Oh no, you're not feeling good. Girl, you can say whatever you want. You can be rude if you feel like it. I'm telling you guys, having somebody, it was so silly because I said to him, I'm not a walk around the house naked person, but I'd like that option. Anyway, that was a little weird. So having her gone has been, and you know what? She didn't do anything destructive or anything like that. She didn't have wild parties or people over to our house. And, she did unpack a lot of stuff that, I didn't ask her to. She did it on her own volition. I told you Blake went to his We had to move his dad into memory care. So we had all kinds of stuff, and Blake packed it. And some of it was from his mother's house because she gave us a bunch of stuff. You guys, his mother really just dumped on us all the things which are nice and everything. They're just not my taste. But you know what? I didn't have to go out and buy a lot of stuff. So that I'm grateful for. So when I give you guys my house tour, you'll get the house tour of the furniture that was given to us by his mother and father, which is kind of, it's fine, you guys. Maybe the dog since she was bad. The dog, you guys, I have the Swedish, little Charlie, but she's blind. And so she's very sensitive. So she was definitely like every time she would leave the house. And you guys, we live this house is old. It's like 116 years old. It's 116 years old. So it makes a lot of noise. You know what I'm saying? It's like a lot of, it's creaky, so let's just say when she would be up moving around, it was not quiet. I mean, you can try to be quiet, but anyway, so that's over. So it feels really good to be in my space. Now we're kind of like, we have both started just back selling stuff on eBay. Like I told you guys before we moved here that when we were contemplating how we were going to deal with Blake's dad, when we thought he was going to come and live with us in Hawaii, and when we were just going through our whole thing, before we moved into our last house in Hawaii, Blake had shipped himself. He is you guys, he's a worse bibliophile than me. He is a rare book collector. And he shipped himself from Hawaii. We didn't bring anything with us, but he shipped himself boxes and boxes of his books. So we've spent the past few weeks, aside from finding a school for our daughter, we've spent the past few weeks organizing all his books and putting them in his eBay store. So he's been selling some of his rare books in eBay. And we both he has a good job here. And I'm super happy for him. He's like working with a company that does CBD oil, that does also has like a big Airbnb type of a business where they have like tent sites, and they have this big huge farm, and on the farm are chickens and pigs and they grow all kinds of vegetables, and they grow CBD, and then their campsites. So he's been doing all of the SEO and stuff like that, all the computer stuff for that. So guys, look, this is a handmade shoemaking class. I like the shoes. I'm going to cut them out, but that's pretty cool. So we've been doing that full time right now, just putting all his stuff up on eBay, and that's been really good. And then I've been getting we need bookshelves, and just that's the stuff that we didn't get from his family, because when you have rare books, you need bookshelves. So that I've been dealing with, getting bookshelves, and it's a lot of stuff. It's like the next time you turn around, you're just like, whoa, what did I do today? And every day seems to go by fast, without it just seems to go faster than the days don't seem long enough. Does that make sense? So I've been dealing with that. Now, saying that, I've been putting a few things in my Etsy shop. So if you guys have been out, if you've been over there and seen it, I've got a bunch of cool little vintage things in there. Prior to moving to Hawaii, I had a very strong weakness for vintage glass. How many of you guys are vintage glass people? I don't know why I am. I always have been, except living in Hawaii, because, nothing's really old there. I mean, I guess it is if you live in Oahu, but it's a small island, the island I lived on. So I have a few things I've put up in my store, little vintage glass things. I have a ton to put up. I just haven't done it all yet. And then, you guys want to hear some of the best news that I had? Okay, so you guys know my designer friend in Hawaii she always hooked me up with wallpaper books. Well, she hooked me up with somebody here, and they just sent me a huge, I think I got like 45 new wallpaper books. I haven't even looked through them yet. So when I start looking through them, I'll do some live streams and you guys can check them out with me. I also got offered a part-time job, which I'm contemplating taking now that my daughter's in school, teaching art classes like I did in Hawaii, where I taught in like a senior center, and I taught, I would have classes and stuff like that. So I haven't really got myself organized to do it yet, but I'm thinking I will. So that's kind of good. So that I'm going to do. Sorry, guys. I just want to cut all these things out that I want. Isn't it awesome? You have some glass. I can't, you guys, my Etsy shop is called, guys, is it called Crafting Mama Studio? Guys, I don't even know. You know what it is? My older daughter set it up for me, and I think it's called Crafting Mama Studio. I don't know. I'll look it up really quick. Anyway, so if you guys want to support me in any way, let me know. I appreciate it, since I'm like jobless at the moment. It's not that I want to be jobless. I really don't want to be. But for us at the moment, it is better if our daughter's school is kind of not near anything. So it's kind of a drive. And since Blake's working, it's better that, you know what I mean? So we just haven't worked it out yet. But I'm sure if the right job came up, you guys, I would totally take it. But at this moment, I just haven't, I don't know. Yeah, it's called Crafting Mama's Studio, one word. You guys, I don't even go there very much anymore, but I was trying to get a whole bunch of stuff listed. I finally got like a little area to, have a really good filming, lighting kind of thing. You guys, I can't even. The hard thing is when you open up your Etsy shop and you open it up, it shows you. It's so stupid. It shows you it shows me what I see, like as a merchant, not as what somebody else sees. Maybe Jamie can find it and put it in there. You guys, I'm like so lame. I can't. Maybe Jamie will do it. Anyway, that's what I'm doing. But I have, okay, so in my defense, okay, there is some amazing thrifting around here. So soon, I'm hoping maybe this week or next week, depends upon if I can get it together. I went and I bought myself a sewing machine. And when I went to this estate sale, this lady was selling, I guess it was her mother's. Her mom was like almost 100. So I got this really cool old sewing machine, and it came in a cabinet. I just need to get some bobbins and stuff for it. Anyway, she had some super cool old ephemera, and I bought a bunch of it from her. So I bought a bunch of it from her. So I will try soon to have a sale. Yes, now I'll be able to have, there's my shop. Now I'll be able to have a space. Yes. So I got myself a bunch of I've been on the lookout for a bunch of bookshelves, and so I got that. So I have some of it. Now I got to get a china closet. I'm sorry, guys. I got to get a china closet. So that's my new thing, getting a china closet so that I can put all this glass in. Etsy doesn't make it easy to search. Hi, Renee. You were right. Mary Lou, you know what? Every single time. So I love to buy things from other crafters and other artists too. So, because I'd rather, if I'm going to buy something, I'd rather support another artist. So I was trying to find um, Selena, Amor Fabrique, and I love her. And I typed it in there, and it was just so ridiculous. It took me to like things, but I don't know. I don't know why they don't make it easy for you to find people, but they don't. So that's what I'm up to. So hopefully in the next week or so, maybe if I can get myself together, because I got all this really cool ephemera. I got these, you guys, I got these books, these magazines from the 1930s. They were amazing. I got all this stuff from this lady's house, and I wasn't planning on it. And my poor hottie, you should have seen his face. He was like, between that and my friend who sent me all the wallpaper books, he was like, you should have seen his face. He was like, he's like, we haven't even been here that long. And I said, well, I didn't go look for it. I said, well, I did go look for the sewing machine. Definitely wanted the sewing machine. I gotta love this mirror. I'm cutting this out. It may be too big for a page in that book, but I like it. So he was like, you guys, but now we have the space. So I got, what else did I get from her? I got a ton of stuff from her estate sale. I got those old books from those old magazines from the 30s, which are, I have to tell you, when I saw them, I almost cried. I got buttons. I got, oh my gosh, you guys, I got a huge, in the process of washing it all right now, I got a huge thing of vintage fabric, like really like out of date prints. I got all kinds of lace and doilies. I got I got really old baby clothes that are just beautiful, made out of linen. So I'm super excited about that. I got that. What else did I get? You guys, it was like, you know what it felt like to me? Hey, Pearl. You know what it felt like to me? I felt like, like when you're in the right place at the right time, it's like, that's what it, you do have to, yes, I have a robe limit. Yes, I do. So what I did was, so when I give you guys a tour next week of my house, because I got to figure a way. Anyway, I got to figure a way to do it when the lighting is good. It's been kind of overcast here, so it's not great. And, a house built in 1905 we still have the original lighting from this house, there's not like a lot of extras. So anyway, I decided I would take one room. Blake has one of the bedrooms on the third floor is his studio. I'm in a little tiny studio off our bedroom. I think it was probably meant as like a nursery or a sewing room. It just has all windows. I like it. It's like, but it's small. And that's where I'm set up right now. But I have taken a room upstairs that I'm going to use. Hopefully I'll get a china closet this week. That I'm using as where I'm going to put stuff. That's mine, And so, yeah, I'm definitely not going to. Plus, you guys, I still have stuff that came from his mother. Guys, that's been a kind of a little bit weird thing. It's been a little weird moving into a house where all the things have come from other people. And I didn't even see them. It wasn't like I picked them, Some of them are nice. I'm not going to say that they aren't. It's just, you know what? I'm grateful I didn't have to go buy a bunch of stuff. So I'm still going through all that. Like he brought some boxes in from the garage that was stuff from his mom. And I was like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do with this? Some of it is just too big for the house. Does that make sense? Like, you know what I mean? It's just like too, because mom had this, she had these tables there, and Blake calls them shin bashers. Oh, wow, Jamie, that sounds awesome. Did you see what Jamie wrote? She bought something from somebody on eBay, and then she went to pick them up because she realized they were closed. Hi, Devin. Oh, girl, you can come vacuum my house. That was the other thing. I had to get a vacuum cleaner. I got a vacuum cleaner. I got two amazing Oriental rugs for $35 each, which I was so shocked, from a thrift store. And they look perfect in my living room for now. They're very thick, heavy wool. You should have seen my hottie going with me to get them. He was like, oh my God. You guys, he was so, he's been such a good sport. But so his mother gave us all these things. And so we're going to let go of the shin bashers, as he calls them, these big tables that have like ornate metal coming out of them. And he's like, I have hit my shins on these so many times, not here in our house, and we still have to go and we still have stuff in storage near where his parents are, because it was kind of a weird situation. So when he first went to take care of his dad, or we went to figure out what was really up with his dad. When he got there, his parents are divorced. His mother said, oh, I'm moving to Florida. And so she was downsizing from this like 6,000 square foot house to like a 2,000 square foot house from Virginia to Florida. And she asked us, we originally just agreed to take a dining room set that she had. She asked us if we wanted this dining room set. And I said, oh, we would love it. It was his grandfather's, his mother's father. And it's beautiful, old sort of Victorian ornate dining room set. That's all we agreed to take. And the next thing you know, she had hired movers and told Blake to rent a storage space, and she would have it moved. She would have these movers. Sorry, guys, Sunday afternoon Harley ride. She would have these movers take the stuff to storage. Well, we thought it was just a dining room table. You guys, it's so much stuff we don't even know what. And the movers packed it all. And so as we unpack it all, it's not even stuff that we even agreed to take. And so I don't know. It's all good though. You know what? You know why? Because I didn't have to go buy it. It's maybe not my taste, but it's good for right now. But it's also stuff where you're like, this is like too much stuff, or I don't know. So I'm trying to go through it all. And so I have a big pile. We've got a big 2-car garage, and one half of it is filled with stuff that I don't want. So as soon as it gets warm enough to have a yard sale, I'm definitely going to have one, or give it away, or whatever. It's just, what about your jaw drops? Wait. Oh, she gave it to you super cheap. That's awesome. I get it. The vintage thing is, yes, the vintage thing is really, the finance department is using his leaf blower. Oh, that's the other thing we do need. You guys, we definitely need a lawnmower. That part I haven't even, since Blake's working all the time, I haven't been, I've just been looking for, I told you guys I've been looking for shelves, and I've been looking for all of his books, and I've been looking for, now I need to find a china closet. And I've been looking on Marketplace, and I've gotten a bunch of stuff for very little, which I'm grateful for. I really like this. It's a side of a crib, but isn't it beautiful? It's really beautiful. Hey, Lala, how are you? Thanks for coming to join me, you guys. Thanks for the thumbs up. I've missed you guys so much. So I'll be sharing with you guys all my vintage finds soon. If I can get it together, I'll try to do it this week, because it'll help me purge. I've washed a ton of it. A lot of old vintage tablecloths, a lot of lace, a lot of just old fabric, and I have it all hanging dry. Then I have to iron it or whatever. That's the other thing. I don't have an iron. Anyway, we won't even get into that. I'm going to get an iron and an ironing board. I don't think he took any from his parents because I don't think his mother ironed. Maybe she ironed. What do I know? But I haven't. I got to get an iron. Maybe I'll do it this week. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how adventurous I get. But the cool thing is this. It's made me realize. So whereas I have to say I was a little nervous about letting go, which I did let go of almost all my stuff, as you all know, because you all got it. I was a little nervous. I was like, am I ever going to find like these cool things again, or things I want to use for my own art, or things I want to use? Am I ever going to find it again? Guys, without a doubt. I have to tell you, I didn't realize. See, I've been missing out all these years thrifting, and we have a lot of really super cool thrift stores near here. And when I get my house a little more organized, and then I can decide what I want. I can say, oh, I would really like whatever it is. So my sister also recently gave us a bunch of stuff. One of Blake's business partner ended up, my sister moved from, I told you guys the story. My sister has a house in Charlotte, and all these years, right? I used to come to visit her in Charlotte. And then maybe a couple years ago, her husband got transferred to Northern California. And then he retired. And when he retired, they still have their house here. When he retired, they moved to Vegas right before he retired. So so Hottie's, I want these numbers. Hottie's business partner happened to be driving a big truck to pick up a car in California, and he stopped by Vegas and he picked up my stuff my sister saved me. So what's super cool about it is my sister gave me, guys, I've lived in Hawaii for like 12, 13, going on 14 years. So my sister gave me all kinds of cool stuff that she saved that was like my mom's. Like I think I have my mom's an old table from my grandmother's house, and a rocking chair, and just small things, but so I'll have all that stuff, which that kind of thrills me. That makes me excited. That makes me excited. So he just got back yesterday and Blake went over and unpacked some of it, but I guess he has some stuff in front of the stuff that's mine. So I don't know when we'll unpack it, hopefully soon. But my sister gave me a really beautiful, she asked me if I wanted it when they were downsizing. She gave me a really beautiful bed that I think is going to be my daughter's, the one that's in high school. She gave me a really beautiful bedroom set, and so it's actually been such a good thing because I haven't really had to buy anything. We did break down and buy a couch because although Blake's mom gave us a couch, he got here with just the couch pillows and not knowing whether we were going to go, when he was going to go back there or not. I bought a couch from somebody that sat in their formal living room. And that lady was so sweet. She was downsizing, and she's like, I don't think anybody sat on it. She and I sat on it together. So that was cool. I did buy a couch and some bookshelves, but I didn't spend very much on the couch. And she was like, I don't know how long I've had this couch. It looks like a Victorian couch, but it's not. It's like a reproduction, which is good because I don't know if you guys know about Victorian furniture, but that is like some of the hardest furniture to sit on and get comfortable. Hi, Dina. How are you? Oh, we love you too, Lala. Are you in New York yet? Did you get moved? You guys, some of these catalogs, I go through them and then I like this A. Let me go ahead and cut that, but then I'll lay them down and I'll go back through them. I'm glad for me too, Carla. But I have to say I was nervous. I had a hard time letting go of all my stuff. You guys were there. But I feel a little better now. I mean, I haven't really collected anything. Well, sorry, I've collected these restoration hardware catalogs because I like them, um, but I haven't really gotten anything. And I haven't, I did send myself some stuff, um, but not a lot. And I was actually proud of myself. But hey, you know me. I don't need much. I don't need much to. Hi, Miss Michelle Scott. Did you guys go over and watch Michelle last night? I was watching Michelle. Oh my gosh. Michelle, put the link to that video that you guys they were working. They did a live last night. Michelle does Saturday Night Lives. They made the coolest. If I was crafting, I was watching you guys on my phone and then my phone died, which was kind of a doofus thing. But they made the coolest mixed media pieces. I loved it. It was super awesome. And so, yeah, you guys should go over and check it out and subscribe to her channel if you're not. You guys are missing some fabulous, fabulous things. All right. Guys, I don't know why I like these restoration heart. So they're free. So if anybody wants to, you just go on their website and order you have to order the snail mail catalog. It is hard to process, Carla. It was so hard for me. I don't know why. And it's so silly because, you guys, the things that I collect are usually to share with other people. It's not like I'm collecting them thinking I'm going to use all of it for myself. But it was hard to let go of. I don't know why, but it was. But you know what? I'm feeling better now. What's so funny is that I had no clothes. I realized how little I have clothes to go to work, like job, but I don't have clothes to. So I've got 2 pairs of long pants. I did break down and buy myself a pair of shoes. I don't know, you guys. It's so funny. It's but I have wallpaper books, okay? I have wallpaper books. I have restoration hardware catalogs. I have bookshelves. I have found a bunch of bookshelves, guys. Your daughter shops at Restoration, the outlet? I have never been. So yeah, you guys got to head over on the 19th. If on the 19th, it'll be on Michelle's channel, and you guys can check out her Saturday. It's really fun. I participated one time. I had so much fun. It was so fun. But it's so fun just everybody's having such a good time. You feel like you're right there hanging out with everybody. I love it. Wallpaper books are priority. I know, right? Hi, Randy. How are you? No, it's ridiculous. It's my sister's so have you gotten any lamps or stuff? And I'm like, no, I'm using the eclectic mishmash of lamps that we got from either Blake's dad's house, which you have to realize about Blake's dad is he was married 5 times. So his house was a collection of whoever at the moment, his latest and greatest or whatever. And so none of it really matches. You guys, I have the most expensive duvet covers coming out of the yin yang. Okay. I don't have a bed to put them all on, but I do. And I have crazy expensive pillows. And I have, I have boxes and boxes of duvets with matching sham pillows with 15 other pillows that go on the bed, because both his parents had they had big old houses too, right? His mom just downsized. Oh, and then his mother calls up and goes, when are you guys coming to Florida? I have more stuff. I said to him, I'm not going to Florida to get your mom's stuff. I'm sorry. I'm like, no, not doing it. Not doing it. But anyway, you guys, so the choice, the taste of choice or whatever is latest wife redo. So it's like, when you guys see it, you'll get my point. You'll be like, oh, those are beautiful antique chairs. And then you'll see like this crazy lamp that looks like it came from somebody's house in the 80s. And then you guys, I don't know. You know what? I didn't have to buy it. Gives me a chance to like have lamps without having to make a commitment to anything. So my sister's like, what have you gotten for yourself? And I said, well, bought myself a colander because Seish wanted pasta and I didn't have a colander. I was like, oh, that's great. And she's like, no, I mean, she's like housewives. And I'm like, I said, wallpaper books. She was like, you're going to wallpaper your house? I'm like, no, they're for crafting. She's just like, oh my gosh. You guys, if you're not a crafter, you don't understand, right? Wallpaper books seem to be like, I mean, they're a necessity for us, but they're like a bizarre collection for somebody else. So, yeah. She was so funny. She was like, you mean you haven't gotten anything? I said, no, I'm not. I do want to redo my kitchen. That is my biggest priority. I've been cooking in it, and I think it was redone, I'm guessing, in the 70s. When you guys see it, you guys can give me the time frame you think it was done. And it was definitely redone by somebody that doesn't cook. So it was the latest wife redo. Bye, Devin. Big hugs. Thanks for joining us. She got a $10,000 sofa for $1,800. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Yes, it was late. Wait till when you guys see all my stuff, you'll realize that none of it is mine. The only thing that I brought with me from Hawaii was I had some of my grandmother's old quilts, and I brought those with me. Brought a cast iron skillet that I cook in every day, a couple of them. I love this. I'm not going to cut it out because I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but isn't it cool? What else did I bring? Blake brought his books. I brought a few craft supplies. Not much. My daughter did bring most of the stuff from her room. I told her to go through it and decide what she wanted. And she couldn't decide, so I just packed it all. Because you know what? She's 15. And it's not her fault that she has to give it all up. The deals are awesome. Well, I want to redo my kitchen. Blake and I had this really long conversation, okay? Because I don't know, have you guys done this before? So please tell me. So, I've always lived in houses that I've wanted to do stuff too, but maybe didn't do it until it was right before we were going to sell it. And then I never got to enjoy all the stuff, the stuff that we redid on it, right? Does that make sense? So I said to him, before we make any major purchases for this house, and I don't mean like we did have to buy a refrigerator, but because the refrigerator died, but we didn't even get a new one. I found, you know why? I tried to order a new one from Lowe's. And of course it broke. We weren't even living here when it broke. And they couldn't deliver it till like the end of January. And I think it broke in November. So I found a local appliance company, and I said, what do you have in stock that you can deliver in a day or so? And he goes, I have a refurbished whatever. And it was like $100. I said, great. I said, how much is delivery? It was like $25. I was like, deal. So, I would like to buy a new beautiful fridge. But the thing is this, when you guys see my kitchen, you'll understand. It's like, I don't know, there's a fireplace in the kitchen, you guys. It's got space, but it's just weirdly laid out. So I don't know. So before I spend any money, I told him I would really like to redo the kitchen. So I think that is going to be on our after we get settled list. I think that's going to be like what we really focus on is redoing the kitchen. Because I cook in it every day. Like some people like, I don't know if the kitchen's a priority for a lot of people, but I really enjoy cooking. cook every day. And I would like it. And I'd like it now. I'd like it before we both decide, oh, in 5 years I'm hoping we're not going to want to move in 5 years, but you never know, right? I'm hoping that, that I'll have the kitchen redone. I do like it, you guys. Oh, that was a bot. Guys, all right, hang on. Let me see if I can. I love it here. I love it here. I love our new house. I do. I love it. Yeah, I moved from Hawaii to North Carolina. Oh no, I have cooled, you guys, all the doors have skeleton keys. They're these really cool, I'm assuming they're brass. They look kind of black from here. So and they all came with keys. It was so cool. That was one of the cool things. And the other cool thing was that they kept all of the original light fixtures in a closet. So at some point, I'm going to put them all back up. They're not hugely ornate, but they're just beautiful. So they did keep that. So I have that. Yes, I'm not, no. If you see the kitchen was had to have been redone in the 70s. When you see the style of it, it's not the best use of space, and there's no pantry. So yes, there's skeleton keys. I'm telling you, I was like, you lived in Hawaii when you were in the reserves? Yeah. Culture shock? Well, I lived in Hawaii. You guys will live there almost 14 years. In some ways, yes. I have to tell you, the driving thing with the big rigs, that part I am so not liking. The driving with all those big, huge trucks. That part I'm like, after you've driven island style for a dozen or more years, you're just like, it's not, the big trucks are not your favorite. That part is a little bit daunting. But you know what, you guys, the cost of living is so much less and I know everybody's complaining right now about the price of gas. Well, you can imagine the price of gas in Hawaii. It's probably $6 a gallon or more. For us, the cost of living is so much less than what we have experienced in a very long time. So even when we got our heating bill, and it was probably be considered high compared to everybody else, I was like, so it was paled in comparison to what our electric bill in Hawaii was. You guys, Hawaii is very expensive. Yeah, it feels like I go to the grocery store. So you go to the grocery store in Hawaii and you could easily spend $60 for just groceries for one meal. And it wouldn't have even been some elaborate meal. It's just, the cost of things are just out of proportion. Like, I don't know, a loaf of bread could be $7 in Hawaii. That's like, think about it, I told you guys a story about when I first moved there. I stopped drinking half and half or cream or anything in my coffee because it was like a pint of half and half was like $6 or something. And I was like, forget this. I drank my coffee black for years after that. It's just, I'm sure it's that way in some other parts of the world. It's just, I'm not that familiar with it. I think I'm going to leave the inside of the chair until I decide if I'm going to use it. And if I'm going to use it, I'll get an X-Acto knife and cut out the little bits. The cold has taken a little bit of its toll on me, but like we have, what's really sweet about this house, and I would not have thought so, but that it's insulated really well. So we like we have we have oil heat, like a boiler kind of oil heat, and we also have gas heat. The house has 3 fireplaces, and at some point they were turned in to natural gas. And so we just ended up using the natural gas, even though we filled up our oil tank. I think our tank takes 1,000 gallons, and I think he put 500 in it, and I think it was like $1,800. But we didn't have to turn it on. We've just used the natural gas, and it's heated all 3 floors. And so that's been kind of cool. If you leave the doors open, it heats all the way up to the 3rd floor. So, and it's been good. I did buy myself a pair of woolly slippers, and I have a lot of cardigans. I do have some. When I visited my sister, she passed on a huge suitcase of sweaters to me. So that I have. That's been good. Hi, Mariah. You're playing in your studio upstairs. Good. Hi, Val. Oh, Val, congratulations. I know. Wow. You're going to Trisha's heading to Tennessee to see her daughter for Memorial Weekend. Oh my gosh. Girl, you can come anytime. I'll have beds by then. We have beds. We just haven't. So this was the other thing. His dad, we got beds from his mother and his father, but they're king size beds. You guys, Victorian homes don't really support king size beds. At least our Victorian home doesn't. So we are going to get a couple of queen size beds. He's like, I don't think they'll be able to get up the stairs. You left Hawaii in 1991 and you feel now like you never left home. Aw. It's been a long time. I get it. No, girl, you're welcome to stay with us, Trish. We have plenty of room. Plenty of room. We have plenty of room. We have plenty of room. And yeah, we have plenty of room, and I will definitely have a guest bed set up by then. It's a distant memory. Aw, Val, congratulations. I am so happy for you. Where is Surprise, Arizona? I didn't even know there was a Surprise, Arizona. And I have lots of coffee. Definitely have lots of coffee. You guys, that's the one thing. You know, Blake was here by himself for a few weeks before he came back to Hawaii, and when he was there for several months with me while we moved, while we let go of everything. We ordered a coffee machine. So he was here with a coffee pot, a hot pot, and a coffee in a Keurig. And I bought him some cups. He had coffee. We definitely have some good coffee. That we do. But I'm excited because I just ordered one of my really good friends is sending me some seeds to grow garden. And I just ordered some trellis for one of the outbuildings, the little out studio that I have, so I can plant near it and grow my cucumbers and that sort of thing up there. So I'm excited about that. Oh, you know what else happened to me? Okay, so we are, I told you that Blake has a business partner, and that they are, they have this like whole campsite Airbnb thing that has it's really cool. One of these days I'll do a video tour of it, especially in the spring when all the foliage grows back. Anyway, so every day Blake's going over there to feed. He's got pigs and he's got chickens. So every day he's going over there to feed the pigs twice a day, and to make sure all the chickens are okay. They're free range or whatever. And his friend just nonchalantly tells him, "Oh, I have some eggs in an incubator. Check on them." Well, wouldn't you know it, I happened to be going with Blake that day over there because I had to go run an errand. And I said, let's ride together. Make him drive with the big rigs, not me. And he comes out of the house and he goes, 2 of the chickens hatched. And I said, my grandparents had farms and my grandfather used to raise chickens. I said, they can live in the, his farm was supposed to be about the next day. I said, they can live in an incubator at least 24 hours. I said, I wouldn't worry about it. He goes, will you come look? You guys, I went and looked. He had checked the incubator 3 or 4 days before because he told him to put some water in it. And then 4 days later, he checked it and there's 2 chickens. I said, babe, you can't leave those chickens in there. They were already getting little feathers. So then we had these baby chicks. Oh my God, we had these baby chicks for a couple of days. And you should have seen us. I said, we need to get a heat lamp. He's like, what do you mean we need to get a heat lamp? I said, you got to have a heat lamp for baby chicks. He's like, oh. And so I'm like, I haven't raised chickens in 40 years. So here I am, like, you have to dip their little beaks in the water and then peck where the food is so that, pretending like you're their mother. He was like, oh my gosh. He was like laughing hysterically. He goes, the things you know. I said, the things you don't know that you know. Well, we also have a cat. So then our cats are little girls and she's away visiting visiting some of our family because it's her 1 week of spring break. And that's her cat. And this cat, I'm telling you, we locked the cat in our bedroom with us because I said to him, that cat is not eating these baby chicks on our watch. And oh my gosh, you guys, that cat was so miserable. She was trying to get out the whole night. She was meowing, jumping on our bed. She's like gone nuts. Yeah. So we had baby chicks for a couple days. That was our very exciting. And Blake was like, you could hear him peeping and peeping. He said, they've been awake 24 hours. I said, they don't know to sleep yet. I said, they will. He's like, oh my God. It's like stuff you don't even think about. Only a mini farmer would know. You guys, I was like, my grandfather would be proud of me. I was like, Blake's like, how do you do it? I said, reach in there and grab them. I just reached in there and grabbed them. And oh my God. I said, see, mini farming. Like, yeah, that's how my week's gone. Mini farming. Yes, Hawaii coffee is the best, Randy. I agree with you. And you want to laugh? So they have one of my friends calls it the scratch and dent. Have you guys heard of that? Like, it's like a grocery store that sells scratches and dent stuff. But in there, one of my friends says, oh my gosh, they have the best coffee there. And there's one really close to us. So I said, I'll go in. So I went in and I found this Kauai coffee that we used to buy when we lived on Maui. And I bought a bag of it for Blake. Well, he was like, I want that coffee again. So we went back and I think it was only $5 a pound. He bought whatever they had left. So here I am in North Carolina drinking Hawaii coffee because we're missing it so much. So crazy, ridiculous. You had peacocks and rabbits and goats and chickens with the kids. Oh, well, I grew up, both my parents, I'm like from Texas originally, guys. I'm like a 5th generation Texan. Okay. So my dad's family were farmers for a living. My grandfather had a lumber mill, but he was primarily a farmer. And he grew all kinds of things, sugarcane, soybeans, you name it. I mean, to sell corn, all kinds of stuff. And I can remember being a kid and my grandfather calling up my dad and saying, how much beef do you want? How much pork do you want? Because they raised all their own animals and slaughtered them all. Right. And so, it was, my dad would say, do you want a whole cow, half a cow, or whatever, to freeze and whatever. My dad's mother had a big vegetable garden and she canned. Like if you went into her house and you wanted just some food or whatever, she didn't have that kind of food. She had to make it for you, right? She had all the ingredients to make things, but there's no such thing as, fast food or whatever. So that was my dad's family. And my grandmother raised all kinds of chickens. She used to have these little Bantam hens, which were really tiny. She had guinea fowl because they would eat all the ticks and bugs in a garden. She had all kinds of chickens. She had hens that laid colored eggs. It was pretty cool. Now, fast forward to my mother's family. My mother's family lived in a city, but they had acres and my grandparents grew all their own food. They did not slaughter their own meat. But they would go in halves with somebody or whatever, and they would raise one of their friends would raise it or whatever. Do you get the idea? They also canned all their own food, and they had chickens and ducks, and they lived near a bayou. And when you live near a bayou, there's like alligators, and they had all kinds of stuff, you guys. So they had goats, they had sheep, chickens. They were much. My mother's father was an engineer, and so he worked for an oil refinery, whereas my dad's father was just farmer. So not that being just a farmer isn't something important, but I'm just saying, like, they didn't have, like, my grandmother, she had quilting. Got my love for quilting from her. She would piece quilt all winter, and then she would quilt all summer, and she had enormous big quilting frames in parts of in areas of the house, and she sewed all her own clothes, and it was pretty cool. They were very thrifty and very, it was cool. It was cool. Both sets of my grandparents were very into that. So I had lots of experience with chickens, not because I was like, oh, let me have experience with chickens. It was just because of the necessity of it, So, but I hadn't thought about that in years. Like, although in Hawaii, they do have a big feral chicken problem. And we had talked about one time having chickens ourselves, but where we lived, I don't think your neighbors would really appreciate it. You're in Texas? That's awesome, Mariah. Where do you live in Texas? Yeah, they did. Yes, they would have them hanging in the garage. Yes, yes. And my grandmother, they also had a smokehouse. Have you ever experienced that? Oh my gosh, you guys, a smokehouse where they would smoke meat and they pull it out of there. It's kind of frightening looking. It doesn't look that way when you get it to your store, but it can be kind of like, oh yeah. I can tell you both my grandparents were amazing cooks. I mean, I think about the food that they grew and cooked. It tastes amazing. Right outside of Dallas. Oh, cool. You grew up in the Panhandle near New Mexico? Well, my mom's family is from the Galveston, Houston area, and my father's family is from East Texas. So I got a mix of all that, mix of all that. But yeah, so we were babysitting some chickens. What else did we do? You guys, it feels like the days have, even though it feels like I've been here forever, even though I haven't been. And the days seems like we always have some sort of project going on that seems to take up the whole day. Along with like the normal things that everybody does, but it just seems like that. But I'm super grateful that we're here. You guys, I feel like it's really, what's wonderful about this house is I feel like I feel like I've been here a long time. Like it feels that comfortable. So I'm grateful. I didn't know exactly, and I have amazing neighbors. I have the nicest neighbors. Like, they all know Blake really well because he was doing work on the house long before we moved here. He had to, before it could pass inspection, he You guys, the house has 41 windows and they were painted shut from the outside because whoever painted the house the last time did that, right? So he was like up on ladders and sticking windows to pass inspections and stuff like that. And the neighbors all came and met him. I've only met a few of them, but they've been so kind. Like our neighbor across the street brought banana bread and some stuff over one day, and the neighbors next door invited us over for dinner. Although we haven't gone yet, you guys. I just haven't really had the. I did see one. I have one really good friend that I've known her a long, long time. I've known her at least 20 years, and she doesn't live far away. I did have them over for dinner. We had them over for dinner one night and one afternoon, and it was wonderful. And then we went to their house. So we have done that. But in all honesty, I've enjoyed the decompression from it all, even though it feels like I'm busy all day long, and that by the time my feet hit the ground at night, I'm like, oh my gosh, what did I get done? But I forgot how much I used to have an eBay store. How many of you guys have had an eBay store in the past? I used to have one years ago, not while I lived in Hawaii, years and years ago. And it was when I was a costume designer, and I used to sell textiles. I used to sell just leftover remnants from shows and stuff when I would make costumes. And I didn't remember it being so. Of course, you know how you remember, you keep your memories or whatever they are, right? But I'm telling you, resetting up his eBay store has been, and he had one for years too, has been a learning curve. Like I've learned so many things. I was like, oh my gosh. They have all these new sort of templating things that they want you to do. And I don't know. I'm sure it'll get easier as time goes on. Trish, I am so happy. And I didn't know what I was missing. Does that make sense? I really did not know what I was missing. I don't get me wrong. I loved living in Hawaii. It's one of the most beautiful places on the earth, as far as I'm concerned. But I missed out on a lot. It seems so silly, but I did. I mean, I don't know. It's been awesome. I mean, I'm learning my way around. The other thing that I got, you guys, I got a weaving loom. I used to weave many, many, many moons ago, and I haven't done it in a long time. And one day when I was looking for bookshelves for Blake's mass quantities of books, somebody was advertising a loom, and I went and got it. I haven't set it up yet. It's huge. I'm going to have to wait till one side of the garage is clear because it's a rug loom. But I'm super excited about that. So when I get that together, I will share it with you because I don't know. I love it. So that'll be fun. I did get that. Not that I needed a loom. Hey, I don't even have a bed. I do have a bed, but I don't have all the beds, but I need a loom. You used to weave? Oh, nice. Hi, Bootsy. How are you? And how is John? Hi, Aunt Beck. Ooh, you had to find Bernadette. She got out while the neighbors were over talking with Scott. Ooh, you found her though, right? Yeah, we haven't let our cat out. I'm not planning on letting our cat out. I'm planning on trying to see if she'll stay in. This house is big enough and she should, but we'll see how that goes. Oh, thank you, Trish. Yeah, years ago you did say I was coming to the Bayland. I don't know. I'm so glad. It was the best move we've ever made. It was and you know what? I have to say, I don't know that I would feel this way if we didn't have this house, but I I just love this house. Dog too. And yes, John's doing good. Oh, good. Your 42nd anniversary. Oh my gosh, Boots, that's fantastic. Hey, Deb, that is so awesome. Congratulations. You need a bigger house. Well, I know Blake was like, you guys, if you saw how happy he is, if you saw how absolutely happy he is, you would be, guys, he is so happy. He just left a little while ago to pick up a workbench. So in my quest for bookshelves, I ran across somebody that was needing help removing a workbench that he'd built into his garage 25 years ago because they were selling their house. And so I said to Blake, why don't you call him? Because he used to be a fine woodworker, like a finish carpenter. And so he had a really nice workshop in Hawaii. But anyway, so he called the guy and the guy was like so thrilled. So he's over there getting a workbench. I don't know, talking men stuff. So he was like super happy. Congratulations, Roy. 42 years. That is so amazing. That is fantastically fabulous. How are you, Miss Deb? If you guys want to go over and be totally inspired, go over to Miss Debbie Quirk's channel. You'll be totally inspired. She makes the most beautiful books, most beautiful glue books, always inspiring. And she also finds some really cool finds on her beach combing. What do you call it, though? You don't call it beach combing. What is it called? What is it called in your neck of the woods, Deb? A bramble? I don't know. I can't remember all the words. Can't remember what you're... You guys, I'm going to be... You know what's kind of cool is that... So Blake and I went to pick up the loom, the big weaving loom that the lady gave me in Spartansburg. And they have a beautiful artist co-op there. And we stopped in that, and I was like so inspired. Just how to go back to Hawaii. He is going to have to go back, unfortunately, because when we moved, we didn't take everything. We tried to, but it was... Hey, Malia, how are you, girl? Beach combing. You call it beach combing, or you call it something else? Your mom lives in Spartansburg? Oh, I love that town, Aunt Beck. I had never been there. And so we went and I picked up this loom, and then they have this artist co-op there. And so we stopped because, you have to stop when you see an artist co-op. And I got to talking to the director of the artist co-op, and it was just so cool. So it took us about an hour to get there. So that wasn't that far. I don't know if they have one in Spartansburg. They might. They don't have a creative reuse here. I looked when I first got here. They had something called, guys, I can't remember the name of it, but it's closed. It's like called, it was called, I don't know, something similar to a creative reuse, but it was closed. It's no longer in business. So they don't have one here. I think they have one in Charlotte. And yes, he does have it. He does have a job he should go back to do. But that's not for a little while. And we did keep some stuff there in Hawaii. He does have he did put it this way. So when you do high-end house renovations or that sort of thing, you bid on a job, and then the pandemic happened, then all the materials weren't available. But I think he's still going to go back and do it. And we did leave some stuff with a friend, and we did leave some stuff in storage. He left his tools. He left that kind of stuff he might need to go do the job. So I don't know exactly when it is though. You know what, Trish? It feels like a lifetime ago, but I know it's not. But yeah, he has to do that. And we did leave some stuff. We tried. The problem was this: is he left his truck. Okay, he has a truck there because if he was going back to do a job, he needs transportation. And because of the pandemic, there's not a lot of cars. It's a whole ridiculousness, but you can see how it can catch up. So he he left his truck there. He left we put his tools in storage because we didn't think, leaving your tools with somebody who doesn't know the value of your tools and is just kind of being kind and watching it for you, but they're not home all the time. He was like, I don't want to take the chance of somebody just breaking into our friend's garage and stealing them. So he left his tools in storage. And yeah, I don't know exactly when he's going back, but he is. He's supposed to go back. So you got one here in Greensboro, you do? There where is there another one? There's one, I think there's one in Charlotte. I think there's one in Greenville. Somebody was telling me, but I don't know where there are. I mean, there was one here in Charlotte, in Asheville, in the Asheville area, but not anymore. Let me see if I can find where they are. There's one in Greenville called Recraft Creative Reuse Center. And Greenville is about an hour and a half from me, I think. And then there is one called Scrap Creative Reuse. Yeah, that is in, what's the one near you called, Malia? But I did look for one. But I did find, okay, you guys, I did find something so cool. Okay, so cool. It was called, guys, I think it's called Scrounger's Paradise. I wanted to find some upholstery fabric, and they advertised that they had some. I went there. They didn't have anything I wanted, but what they had that was so cool that when we finally do redo our kitchen, I'm going to be super excited, was they had all this really old reclaimed butcher block countertop, which I think when we do our kitchen, I'm going to do it with that. But it's kind of like, it wasn't a creative reuse, but it was like somebody that goes in and, they had all kinds of bizarre things there. They had like stuff from churches and church pews, and they did have fabric, but it wasn't what I wanted. It was like old 80s fabric. It wasn't like, I wanted a really nice, Blake's mom gave this one chair that I really do like. It's super comfortable, but it's definitely needs recovering. So I was like, okay, I'm definitely going to look for some fabric and recover that chair myself. And I wanted some really beautiful brocade fabric. They didn't have anything. They had nice fabric, but it wasn't what I wanted. But they had those old reclaimed butcher block countertops. And I was like, oh man, that is I didn't even look and see how much it was, because I'm sure that it's crazy expensive, but I would still like it all the same. So bye, Deb. Big hugs. See you soon. There's no creative use near you. You know what, Bootsy? There used to be one in Manhattan because I went there, but you had to like be a teacher or something. I can't remember the name of it. I don't know if it was called Creative or it was called, I think it was called, oh my gosh, something for the arts. Was it called, not Supplies for the Arts? What was it called? Oh my gosh, it's in Manhattan. It's on the west side. What was it called? I don't know. It was called, I think it's called Materials for the Arts. Look that up and see if that's it. I think that's what it is, Bootsy. Materials for the Arts. And you had to have a I can't remember what you had to have to get into it. I think I used one of my friends' um, teaching things because I used to teach an after school program. But Materials for the Arts, that's what it's called. I want to say it's on the west side, but I can't remember. It's been so long since I've been there. Yep. Materials for the Arts. You should definitely go do it. I've been there. I got some, oh my gosh, I got these. I never forget it. I got these glass Japanese beads from the 30s, and they were just so beautiful. They look like milk glass. They were so gorgeous. Big hugs, Deb. We love you, girl. What book did you get? What book did you see Malia had? Oh, you guys, I'll be right back. I gotta go turn something off. I just remember. Oh my gosh. I'll be right back. You guys, hang out, chat amongst yourself. Be right back. Woo! As I knock the camera. Oh, hell. You guys don't even want to know. Ah. See, you can't leave me alone to do anything. I will make a mess no matter what. So, sorry. Because I'm in this little small space and I'm sorry I kicked it. Well, let's just say I killed a pot. Where is Trish? Where did she go? Where is Trish? Trish, type again. Type again, Trish. Type again. My poor pot. So what happened was Blake left. I put some eggs on to boil and then I forgot about them because I got on the phone. My mother-in-law, my ex-mother-in-law was in the hospital. And so it was like, anyway, I got distracted and I had left some eggs on to boil. So I killed my pot, but the eggs, it wasn't that bad. All's well. Oh, good. No, you know what? I bet Lynn would not do it. I bet you it was Elisa. Elisa likes to watch and Elisa probably did it, not on purpose. You know, I called them when I had the baby chicks because Elisa loves baby chickens. Baby chickens are her jam. So I called and I FaceTimed. I FaceTimed with Elisa and showed her all the baby chickens. So she I'm sure it was just the little fingers things. Yes. You burnt the bottom of the pot off. It fell apart. Well, you guys, you know what? It doesn't even matter. The pots aren't even that good. Because we've been watching this friend's farm. We have all these eggs, and Blake put them on to boil. And then I got on the phone with my former sister-in-law, who was giving me the bad news about her mom, and I just got distracted and I didn't turn them off. All of a sudden, I smelled something. I'm like, yep. So I opened the windows. You know what? Normally I would, Mary Lou. It was just I had made us lunch earlier, and then he was going off to get the workbench from the old guy, and then my ex-sister-in-law called me and I got distracted, and I promised myself no matter what today, I was going to do a live stream because I haven't been taking enough time to do stuff for me, you know, and I feel like if I don't get into the habit of starting to do it again, it'll take forever to come back. You know, for me, you know, just to hang out or just to do something fun. So, oh, well, I burned a pot. Okay. Yeah. And the eggs too, but it's all good. She loved the chickens. Yes. I'm going to have to, when he took them back to the farm. And so I will try to do a video from the farm. He has tons of chickens. They're really, really sweet. At my age, it's no big deal, but yours, you'd be threaded with shady pine. You know what? Can I tell you, having to let go of when I moved to Hawaii, I didn't take anything with me, just a couple of suitcases, and having to recently let it all go and seeing how fast this house has filled up with things that are not, you know, like it's not a big deal. I mean, the pot was fine, but you know, what can I do? You're lurking, but you're here. No, you put her in timeout. You put Trish in timeout. You have really sharp knives. I don't think you meant to, Lynn, but you put Trish in timeout. Were you guys hear that one day that somebody put somebody in timeout and then they got super offended and it was an accident? I mean, nobody, except for like some crazy bot, which we all seem to have lately. I mean, I haven't been to one live stream where there hasn't been. one of those weird bots. Because I don't know what I'm going to do with all this, but this is why I like Restoration Hardware. I like this. You have a really sharp knife. It is easy to do by accident. You're absolutely right. But some people get crazy offended by it. And I'm just like, you guys, it's not on purpose. Nobody does it on purpose. Now my house definitely smells a little bit like burnt pot, but oh well, burnt eggs. If you guys haven't gotten one of these like Harbrace college novels, I don't know why I like them. I think the size. Oh, you guys, look, my rash has gone away. My anxiety, whatever that, remember I told you I was like stressed or whatever, and I went to the doctor and he said, oh, it's like an autoimmune response or something. I noticed the other day it's gone. I was like, woo. I was like, wow, that was like good news for me. It was super good news. No more rash. Yeah. Yeah, you remember that, and you think it was a bot, and the person was upset. Oh, they were like super upset, and then they emailed me. You guys, it is what it is. But I'm super excited to be back to crafting. So I have my crafty wish list of what I'm going to make this year. Hopefully you guys will make along with me, aside from my gluing and making junk journals, because I can't. Junk journals are an addiction for me. I mean, I really enjoy making them. I enjoy using them. I didn't bring the one. Trish made me a beautiful welcome to my new house journal. It's downstairs. I should have brought it up with me. It's downstairs on my makeshift coffee table. It reminds me to try to be creative every day. I still have the jeans that I did bring the pieces of jeans that I was going to make my daughter a quilt with. I've cut them up. So I'm going to make a jean quilt. I think I'm going to make it like a rag style quilt, where you sew it and fray it and wash it. And I think I'm going to make it like that because she'll definitely need it. Obviously not right now because it's getting a little warmer, but she'll need it for next year for her bed. I'm going to make her that. I have collected for years. And how many of you guys can tell me, and I brought this back with me too. Okay. Collected for years, men's ties. And I think I'm going to make a crazy quilt with it. I had made one years and years and years ago. But what I think, instead of just making a crazy quilt, what I think I'm going to do is I think I'm going to make Christmas tree skirts for my kids. I think I'm going to start on that with those ties and then do some slow stitching on it or embroidery stitching on it. And then I think I'm going to make a Christmas tree skirt for between Buddha and myself, we have 5 kids. So I guess I have to make it times 5. So I'm going to make that. So if anybody wants to make along with that, just collect. You don't even have to have ties. You could do it with scraps, but I've just saved all these men's ties. Don't ask me why, you guys, because you know what I think it is? I think it's from my years as a costume designer. And you would find these beautiful old silk ties. And although I don't know if all the ones I saved are silk. Sometimes I just saved them for the weird patterns. But I'm going to make that. I'm definitely going to do... I have like a whole list. I've made myself a list of things that I would like to get done this year. Doesn't mean anybody else has to do it with me, but it's like on my wish list. So the jean quilt is one. The crazy quilt tie Christmas tree skirts is another. Of course, my love for altered books. That goes without saying. So may still do some of that. I did find, I think Lynn sent it to me years ago, and I did bring it with me, a Rolodex. So I would like to go back to doing the Rolodex. For those of you who are watching, I'm just gluing 2 pages together. This book, although the pages are matte, I think that I glued 2 pages together, not on every page, but I think I did it in this one. But you can see how much it was the same size as this one when it started. So you can see how much it expanded, because I love this book. And I saved myself a knob to put on this one too. So I'm going to do that. So the Christmas tree skirt, the jean quilt. I made for a while, and I still have the stuff to finish them, and I may finish them or not. I don't know. I was making quilt square from old quilt square books. So I may go back to doing a few of those. I don't know. I've had some, I collected those supplies and then carried them with me. So I figure I might as well do them. You had 2 bins of ties and belts, and you saw beautiful wall art in the Delta Lounge made by weaving tie tails and embellishing. Ooh, I want to see that. You have 3 t-shirt quilts to make. I did save some t-shirts from one of my kids, and I promised myself I'd make one, but I haven't done that either. And I think I brought them with me. Yes. What did you say? You bought 2 trunks full of books this weekend? You accidentally? Oh, good for you. Oh, my grandma made my youngest sister a quilt with my grandpa's ties after he passed. Oh my gosh, that is so, with his ties. Oh, that's so sweet. You know what I made for my mother-in-law when my father-in-law passed? My former husband's mom. And I took his work clothes and I made them all pillows. Made his mom some. I made all of them, all the grandkids and everybody. I wove them, like you do over and under, like a kid's weaving. That with all of his, he loved the color blue, and everything he had was the color blue. So I made that for everyone, made them all these pillows so that they could, like a throw pillow that you could put in your living room or whatever. And then I made my ex-husband a quilt, and I found all these photographs of his dad and him. And I use that reverse collage technique that I do on paper. It works really good on fabric too. Although I will tell you that if you're going to wash your quilt, you should prime it with some sort of fabric medium, like almost like gesso for fabric. I think it was made by Delta. I can't remember the brand, but you guys, this is years ago because we have been apart since a long time. We've been apart for a good long time, and my father-in-law's been gone about 14 or 15 years, I guess. So I made it for him 15 years ago. But you have to use some sort of fabric medium to if you want to wash the quilt if you do the photo transfer on it. Your daughter-in-law made you a pillow from your dad's favorite shirt and suspenders for your mom, and you all cried. I didn't really know what to do because it was really difficult. My mom passed, and then my father-in-law passed like within a very short period of time, months. And my mother-in-law, she's from Massachusetts, and so she's like stiff upper lip, and it was very difficult, and she just wanted to throw everything away right away. And so I happened to be there, and I just took a whole trash bag full of it. You know what I mean? And I sat with it for a long time. He passed in like the spring, so I didn't make him till the Christmas of the following, the next Christmas. But and they were in my closet forever, like his father's work clothes. His father was a scientist, but he had a farm, and he loved to ride this tractor and do farming, and that was his joy. So I took all of his blue jeans and blue shirts and ties and everything he had that was blue, and I made them. They came out really nice, actually. I'm not a big pillow sewer, but I think they came out nice. Hi, Lucinda. How are you? Oh, Sherry, that's so beautiful. I think it's just so sweet to like think of something like that, Yep. I love stuff like that. I mean, the thoughtfulness of it all, I think it's super meaningful. That's why I thought maybe I would make my kids, like, if I made them all, they may not appreciate it now, but if I made them all Christmas tree skirts, at some point, they'll all have a Christmas tree. My oldest daughter, you guys, she turns 30. She turns 30 this year. I'm like, what in the world? I just had a birthday a few weeks ago, and I was like, ugh. Like when you're like, oh my gosh, I had a good time, but it wasn't, it was just, I love celebrating other people's birthday. I don't like celebrating mine. So I made myself the worst keto cake I've ever made. And I've made some really good keto cakes, and I love this one lady who makes these. Usually I love her recipes, but for whatever reason, mine didn't come out. I ate it anyway. And Blake and I went and ate Thai food. I had a wonderful birthday. We went and ate Thai food on my birthday. And what did I do with Seish? She and I went somewhere too. I mean, we all went. We must have gone for more than one birthday meal. But it was super nice. He took me for a very nice, asked me where I wanted to go, and Thai food, and it was so good. We had a wonderful, and Seisha made me a crying card. Why didn't she go? I think she didn't go with us because she was spending the night with a friend, with a little girlfriend. Yeah, she made me a crying card. But my oldest daughter, she's going to be 30. I'm like, what? Oh, your stepmother she passed away on my birthday, Renee. Oh, love to your stepmom. Love to your dad. Spent 2 months with your dad and your blood. Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry, Renee. You know, life is short. It is short. And it seems to me lately, the older I get, the shorter I'm realizing it is. Your son turned 40 and 39. Ooh. Oh, Bootsy, that's so petty. I'm sorry about that. Well, love to your stepmom, Renee. I'm sure that it's hard when we lose our family members, but just knowing that they're in a much better place with no pain always for me feels like a better place. You need to find something to make as a keepsake. Well, maybe maybe your dad will send you some of her clothes, like stuff that you liked. I don't think initially when my mother-in-law was throwing away all the stuff, I was just like kind of, because it happened like he passed away, and then like a couple days later she was like throwing all the stuff away. It was like a little bit shocking to me, but that's how some people deal. You're a year or two older. We love you, Renee. I'm sorry for your loss. I know it's just, and you guys, I was starting to feel, this is going to sound so silly, or maybe it doesn't sound silly for some of you that have been with me for a long time. Part of me was like, okay, I'm going to finally start making art again. And then this whole war broke out. And I don't know about you, but you guys, it just puts me in a funk. And I mean, I think all I do all day long is, say prayers of peace, because I'm like, this has got to stop. We got to stop killing each other. This is like totally stupid. Over what? Over oil? I mean, it just is so over stuff we can't even take with us. Okay. So we're like in wars with people and things. I don't know. I don't know. And I send prayers to all of those people in the Ukraine and all the people in Russia, because you know what? It's just like our leadership here in America. We're not in charge of it. It's like other people making decisions for you. It's like, I don't know. And so part of me is like, do I even go back to making art? Do I then I realize and I remember for myself that the one thing that does uplift me is making art, spending time with you guys. Because I don't even have a credit card over here. Usually I would do this, what do you call it when you push all the air bubbles out? Usually I do it with a credit card, but I don't have one. Guys, my daughter's little cat, she misses my daughter so much. She's going to come in here and lay down. Go ahead. You can lay down. She's going to come in here and lay down because my little room has sun. So she's going to come in here and lay down with me. We can pray and make art. That's it. I know. War's fat. family squabbles. I agree with you, Renee. I agree with you 100%. And, you know, sometimes I think when you look back, you go, I don't even know what we were fighting for. But, you know, I think, I don't know. It's just a time of evolution for all of us to become better, no matter what. To become better, to become kinder. Now I'm going to glue some from the back, because have you guys ever watched, like when you start gluing pages together, if you do it one direction, then the whole book becomes wonky? The whole book becomes wonky. Malia, what kind of books did you buy, girl? You and Blake and your books. But he buys books. He buys books that he collects, you guys. He doesn't buy, okay, he doesn't buy books to cut them up like I do. he doesn't buy books to cut up. He buys first edition books and signed books and rare books, and he's like a book person. I buy them to cut them up. He buys them to collect and sell. Oh, good for you, Lucinda. Pray and make art and be kind. I agree. You bought all the books? You're so funny. So what's so funny is, like, he'll go out, like, because that's what he's doing. You know, he's like buying books to resell, but he buys, guys, he doesn't buy books that I would, you know what I mean? He doesn't, but he'll find some books that he knows that I love. He goes, oh, I found some for you to cut up. I said, oh, thanks, babe. He goes, these aren't worth anything. You can cut them up. Like, you bought Reader's Digest? Oh, good for you. I bought all these really cool cookbooks. Those I think I'm going to put in my Etsy shop because they're like too nice to cut up. I bought these cookbooks that are, maybe I won't glue that one. Maybe I'll glue these two. I bought these I told you this lady, she passed away. She was almost 100. And she had a collection of all these church cookbooks, which I love those. Do you guys ever, they're usually like loose leaf kind of bound, or they're like spiral bound, and it'll be like recipes from the Baptist church of this or that. But she had them for so many years. And I said, I have to buy all those books. I said, I have got to buy them, but I'm not going to cut them up. I mean, I could cut them up and make some really good cookbook packs, but I think I'm just going to put them in my Etsy shop because they're like, you guys are just precious. Like they have like, Mrs. Rollins barbecue sauce, or, Miss Mary's cornbread, or Grandma Tilly's, coleslaw or whatever. And they're just sweet. And so I just couldn't stand it, because I asked the lady, I go, what are you going to do if you don't sell these things? She goes, oh, I'm just going to throw them away. And I was like, that's like the worst thing to tell a book hoarder like myself. That's the worst thing to tell a book hoarder. I'm going to throw them away. Go to the back of the Shelley. Go to the back of the Shelley. I am in the back of the book, and this is the back, and this is the front. And I'm just going to glue some more down, and then I may glue some in the center too. I may just move around and glue some in the center. I had a great time with my sister Sherry. I didn't get to go for very long. I was only there because our flight kept getting canceled from Hawaii. I was only there for like a few days, and I went thrifting. And with my sister's not a big thrifter, but she broke down and went with me. I went thrifting a couple of places. We went out to eat. Did I see you guys since then? My brother-in-law asked me to make my eggplant parmesan. And you guys, I love making eggplant parmesan, but it is a freaking labor of love. Okay. And one year we came from Hawaii and spent Christmas with her family in Charlotte where they were living. And my sister has 4 kids and I have 3 kids. And, we all came, and remember my brother-in-law asking me to make that for him. And I did. And I made, like, I can't even tell you, back then our kids were like teenagers or whatever. And I think a couple of them were like 18, 19, but most of them, for the most part, were teenagers. And she has boys, and boy, can they eat. And I made all this eggplant parmesan. It took me all day to make it. Made all this eggplant parmesan, and my brother-in-law, I made extra so he'd have some, so he could have some left over. And the kids ate it all. They even went in and ate the vegetarian one I made for my sister, because at the time she was vegetarian. And so it was anyway. So when I got there, my sister was like, her husband's name's Eric. She's like, Eric would like you to make your eggplant parm. And I said, all right, well, if you get the stuff. So you guys, I made 3 trays of eggplant parm for him. And you guys, if you've ever made eggplant parm from scratch, you sweat your eggplant, it's like a whole thing. You sweat your eggplant, you dry it out. It has to sweat for so long. And then you bread it and fry it. And then after you've done all that, then you put it together and make it. Anyway, so I made some, and I usually make mine with spicy Italian sausage, but my sister is, she eats fish occasionally, but she's mostly vegetarian. So they have this Beyond sausage, which I had never really, I never really had that, and it was actually, I was kind of freaked out a little bit, because have you ever got it, when you cook non-meat sausage, sometimes the texture is weird. Does anybody else besides me find that the texture is weird? I'm putting a piece of tape there because when I made my pocket, I slid it all the way through, which is not really a bad thing. But anyway, so I made it with this Beyond sausage. It came out great, but my sister was like, oh, you just do this. Well, no. So what I had to do is I fried the Beyond sausage before I put it in there, because the texture is a little bit weird. And then I made my homemade spaghetti sauce. I made that in a pressure cooker, which was easy because you can, it makes it taste like it's been cooking for days if you make it in an Instapot or in a pressure cooker. I'm a big fan of that. Living in Hawaii, as hot as it was all the time, I was a huge fan of using an Instapot or a pressure cooker. Anyway, so I made him this big tray. I made him multiple trays of it. And what was so sweet is we ate one. Maybe I made 3 trays. We must have eaten one. And then he froze one because he was going to go visit one of their sons, and they're vegetarian. And it came out really good with that Beyond sausage. Guys, I'm not up on all those things. So it was good. They loved it, and he saved the other for. You have those cookbooks in your shop right now? I love those cookbooks, okay? But when she said to me, if I didn't buy them, she was going to throw them away. I was like, oh, I'm a sucker. Guys, I'm a total sucker. I'm a total sucker for that. I got them with those 1930s magazines. Those 1930s magazines, I don't have any down here because my hottie put them up in what's supposed to be my studio on the 3rd floor. But we'll see. I'll bring them down. They're so cool. They're like these music magazines from the 30s. So, all right. So I've done some in the back and some in the front. You make eggplant for Christmas Eve and vacation for the kids. It's a lot of work. It is a lot of work. It was so much work. It was like, and I don't think anybody understands if you've never made it, it's like, even Blake was like, now I see why you don't make this. Well, the other reason why I don't make it all the time is, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'd make it for a special occasion, but when your kids are growing up, you spend all day cooking for something, right? And then they take 15 minutes to eat it. And I mean, did any of you guys have that experience where like you've slaved all day cooking all this stuff and then your kids take like 15 minutes to eat it? Yep. All right. I'm going to see if I can find something to lay down on my page. So after a while, I'd be like, I mean, I love eggplant parmesan, but I don't know. It's a lot of work. I like this picture of this old car. Maybe I'll just put it right there. Maybe I'll just trim it and put it to the instructor. Looks pretty good. No, I'm over that. Your grandson has become a wallpaper crafter. Oh, he has, Sherry. Oh, I love too. You know what? I'm fascinated with them too, Sherry. Not just you. If I can find, I hope I saved some. I think I did. I just don't remember seeing them in a box that I've unpacked here. When I would teach art class, I have made so many different things from those wallpaper books. I've made envelopes, I've made books, I've made all kinds of things from wallpaper books. I've sewn them on a sewing machine. They sew really well. So, I mean, they sew well. I've laced them up. I used to, when my older kids were in school in New York City, we used to make our own hand-bound books when they were in the first grade. They called it the 6/7s because it was like a multi-age class. And I used to, like you would do a leather bound, when you would make stuff with leather, you know how you punch holes and then you sew it with, what's that stitch? Like a blanket stitch, or I don't know the names of the stitch. I can't remember off the top of my head, but, I did that with those wallpaper samples. I've actually sewn costumes out of wallpaper samples. If you get really into it, you can sew just about anything. If the wallpaper's, if it's not old, if it's vintage wallpaper, you can't. Vintage wallpaper is just paper, paste paper. So I like her. Let's see, what do I have to go with her? Let's see. I am definitely wallpaper. I don't know why, but I just love wallpaper. Maybe one of you guys can pipe in and say why. I think it's just the texture of it. I also took apart a wallpaper book and I made a coffee table book for a friend out of the book covers. And I sewed fabric in it and I did all kinds of stuff. Some wallpaper back into it. And I made her like a piece of my art, like a coffee table book piece of art. She loved that. I've done all kinds of different stuff with wallpaper books. I think they're like an underrated art, an underrated supply. And you saved it from going into a landfill. That was my biggest thing, especially living in Hawaii. Wait till Blake gets home and he'll be like, oh my gosh, what is that burning smell? What did you write? You make eggplant? Yeah, I know, Randy, it's horrible. Sherry says, I'm not making cookies anymore because you just eat them. And your husband said, did you really just say that? Lucinda said she did that once. She made a beef pot roast dinner and your kids were about 10 years old. And they said, why can't you have hot dogs? Oh, girl, I've had that too. Are you kidding? I have had that too. I have totally had that. I have had that. Like, or my favorite thing is like, you'll be like slaving over like, you guys, I was seriously ridiculous when my kids were little. I would make like homemade pasta, like for a child. One of my daughters said, I like the thing in the box better. I was like, okay, we know we won't be making that for them again. like the box thing better, Mom. I was like, whatever. But I'm sure, you know what? If you talk to our parents, they would say the same. They would say the same. They would be like, yeah, you'd have rather had hot dogs or whatever. Yeah. Yep. Hot dogs. Ugh. He loves the texture. It is thankless sometimes, Sherry. I agree with you. Can I tell you, like, I was trying to explain that to, like, I don't know, I was having one of those, like, what did I do with my life moments? Okay, am I the only person that ever has that? Can any one of you pipe in and tell me that if some of you guys have that too? I can't be the only one that has the what did I do with my life moment. Like when you realize, like, you've raised your kids and you've done all this stuff, and you're just like, what did I do with my life? I had so much potential. What did I do? Am I the only person that has that? I don't think so, but I could be. Anyway, I was trying to explain that to one of my daughters one day. We were talking about having kids, and I said, really think about it. I said, because you said you're a parent your whole life. It doesn't just stop just because your kids are an age. You know? I don't even know if she understood what I was trying to say to her, but you guys know what I mean. Right? It's like it's like being a parent is like a lifetime job. I need something else here. Yeah, it is a lifetime job. I mean, I don't regret having children. I love my kids, but I'm just saying there are days and times when you're just like, this is a really thankless job. And like, at least I think so. Maybe I'm the only one that thinks that. Yes, everybody does. Your granddaughter had to have craft in a blue box. Oh gosh, I've had that too, Lucinda. After you've like made something amazing, and they're like, I just want the. Yeah, that was like my father-in-law and peanut butter. Did I tell you guys about the organic homemade peanut butter thing? And he started crying when he was at our house. Blake's dad. Oh my God, he started crying because, of course, he has dementia. So let's get something clear. It wasn't like I had organic homemade I had organic homemade peanut butter, and his dad started crying because it was runny. He wanted the he wanted the he wanted the Skippy or whatever, And I was just like, oh my God. And he was crying. I was like, what's wrong? And I was like, your dad's crying. He's like, his dad was crying because the peanut butter was running out the sides of his sandwich and it wouldn't. You know how Skippy peanut butter congeals, or one of those that has like a lot of sugar in it? You know how natural peanut butter like separates? It was like, oh my gosh. The two of us were like, oh my God, it's poor dad. His dementia, he's crying over his peanut butter. Oh, it's like he did not want he didn't want the Skippy or what. I mean, he didn't want the real thing. Then he got mad. He was like, that's the most disgusting peanut butter, after he cried. And we were like, sorry. Yeah. Scrap Exchange in Durham, Gloria? Oh, good. I'll have to go look there. Guys, Blake and I drove to Spartansburg, and then I had to drive my daughter. She was going to visit our family on the East Coast. I had to drive her. The flight got canceled from here to Boston, where she was going, because of the weather. So I had to drive her all the way to Charlotte. So we drove to Charlotte the other day, and that was, it's like it took us almost 3 hours because of the traffic, but it's really only like a little more than from here. You know, when you're in Hawaii, you're just driving around and around in circles. You're not, there's no driving anywhere, driving around and around in circles. Okay, I don't know if I'm going to put that one on there, but I'll look for something else. You've been to the store in Durham. It's good. Bye, Deb. Glad to see you. Bye, Mary Lou. We love you. You've had that same experience, Renee. It's like, I don't know. Lately, I've been going through my own weird stuff. I've been going through my, what am I going to be when I grow up? I've been going through my, what did I do with my life? Where did it go? That happens to me around birthdays. You guys, I'm not great with birthdays. I don't know what else I want to put on here, but I'm going to go to a different page. I'm not great with birthdays. I'm just with my birthday, not with anybody else's birthday. I'm just not great with birthdays. It always puts me in a funk. I always like reflect on like what I haven't done, what I should have done. I mean, and I know that's stupid and it doesn't make any sense, but that's just how it is with me. So yeah, it's just what it is. So that's just kind of what I go through around my birthday. And I don't know. It's really my own expectation of myself. It has nothing to do with anybody else's thoughts or feelings about me or their expectations of me. It's really just about me and my ludicrous expectations of myself, which I think I am my own worst critic, you know, that kind of thing. So that's what goes on for me. So not feeling that way and then just like, yeah, it's just silly. It's just super silly. I know it is. It's just not, it doesn't even make good sense. Well, I like this. I don't know what else will go with it, but I like that for right now. You love your birthday? You love everything about your birthday, but October puts you in a funk? Lucinda, I'm usually good. I mean, it's just me. It's just like, for myself, it's like my own expectations of myself. You know, it's like so silly. I grew up in a very loving family who always did wonderful things for birthdays, but it's not even about them. It's about me. It's just about me and my own self. Whereas my buddy, he could care less about birthdays. Like birthdays for him are like, so yeah, you know, like I'm like, what do you want to do for your birthday? And he's like, oh, whatever you want to do. I mean, he's not bothered by any of it. He doesn't, you know, if you celebrate, great. And if you don't celebrate, that's fine too. And he's like that. Whereas it's not even about the celebration. It's just about like, oh my gosh, what I reflect. What didn't I do? What should I have done? You know what I mean? Stuff like that. It's silly. It's just ridiculously silly. Maybe the Chinese hair. I mean, it's not anybody else's thing. It's just my thing, you know? It's silly. Your birthday's the 14th of March or the 14th of February? Happy birthday, Miss Sherry. No, I love other people's birthdays, just not mine. I don't know. It's silly. Now, my oldest daughter turning 30, I said, what do you want for your birthday? And she's like, she's in Mexico City right now. You know, I told you guys that I have one daughter that's like her whole thing in life is she just travels and travels and travels. And she and her husband, they just travel all over. Like they were in China when the pandemic first began, or right before everything was closed down. they happened to come home for the youngest one she was a lead in a play. And they were coming just for a visit to see her, and then got stuck. Which I'm sure if you talk to them, they were like, "Oh, this is horrible." Being stuck in Hawaii. You buy gifts at all time of the year and you don't wait for your birthday? One more year and you're 60? Girl, I just turned 58, so I can relate, okay? The big 5'8". The big 5'8". I don't know, I was talking to somebody, and she was so sweet. She's like, I just turned 92. 58, you haven't even started living yet. I was like, I hope I feel that way when I'm when I'm your age. March. Well, happy birthday to you, girl. Yeah, one of my kids, my birthday's the 12th of February, and hers is the 10th of February. She just turned 24. And then my oldest daughter, she turns 30 at the end of March. And it's kind of crazy, right? How fast. There's points in your life when you have your kids and you're like, this is going on forever and ever and ever. And you never think, am I ever going to be able to do this or do that or whatever it is you want to do? And then the next thing you know, your child is 30. And you're like, what? Where did the time go? Yeah. So I asked her what she wanted for her birthday. She said, I don't know, nothing really. And I don't know. I guess I'll just send her money because you're in Mexico City anyway. I don't know how her husband is a linguist. I think I've talked about him a bunch. He speaks all these different languages. And he speaks all these different languages, and he gets jobs all over the world, and that really suits them. The two of them, they're travelers. That's their thing. That is their thing. Good for them, right? They enjoy traveling, and the way she works online. She's a graphic designer, and all of her business is online, and she can, now with how everything works, she can just do her job, and she doesn't have to deliver anything in person. It's all via the internet. So she can live anywhere. But the last place they were working, well, no, they did a movie. They did take jobs during the pandemic. There was a couple movies that were filming in Hawaii, and they took jobs on this movie crews. Not that that's what they do, but it's just during the pandemic, there wasn't a lot of work going on in Hawaii. So they took that, working on a movie crew. But they tend to they're like sort of nomadic. I told you that she's the one that says, please don't give me anything for Christmas or don't make me anything because it'll make me feel like I have to carry it around with me. So they can fit the sum total of their entire contents of their home and everything else in a suitcase, I think. They don't really have much. Love you, Jamie. Love you, love you, love you, love you. Your oldest is 44 this year. How did it happen? Oh, I know, right? Sherry, you said yours are 29 and 25. Well, mine are 30, 24. Well, she'll be 30 soon. 24 and 15. And you guys, I really don't think that grandkids are going to be in my future. Granddogs, maybe, but grandchildren, I don't think so. Blake's so funny. He's like, you think we have 5 kids. You think we get 1 grandchild? I said, well, maybe we won't. He said, you think we'd get 1? But no. Not 1. But it's all good. It is all good. You guys, I came very close. Very, very, very close. Blake always talks about, I told you his dad was a veterinarian, the one that was crying over the peanut butter. He was a veterinarian. And we've always talked about, he's been talking for years, he's talked to me about wanting a French bulldog. And you guys know that all of our pets come from the pound. You know, like we've never gotten all of our animals are a rescue of some sort. So oddly enough, I was just talking about it with him not that long ago because we were talking about now that we're here. I said, anyway, one of our crafting peeps raises French bulldogs and posted it. And you guys, I came so close to getting him a dog. Not that we need another thing right now. But the chances of us talking about it, and he never expresses like the want for anything. And I came so close, you guys. She's only a couple of hours away from us, and I came very close. But then I had a real serious talk with him about it today, and he was like, if we were a year into this, I would say he said I probably would jump at it. He goes, but we just moved. I just started this new job, and our lives are just a little bit up in the air. He's like, let's just wait. But you guys, they were so cute. The puppies were so cute. So, so, so cute. You guys, I never see stuff like that. I know people post stuff like that, but I never, for me to actually see it. Do you guys ever think that you don't see half the people you used to see on Facebook or whatever? Not that I'm on it that much, but I don't see if I don't purposefully go to my own group every day, it won't even come up in my feed. It's so stupid. So, do I speak French? No. Yours are 28, 26, 25, and almost 18. I can't believe it, Renee. But you got a beautiful grandbaby. He's beautiful. At least you got 1 grandbaby. I don't think I'm getting any. Yours are 40 and 41. I know time goes by so fast. Sherry, I have the same question for myself. I like this giraffe too. You guys, this is a glue book for no reason. This is not, this is just whatever I'm feeling. I'll find something cool for here. Usually I have lots to pick from, but because we moved, I let go of all my images. I didn't even bring any. I brought a couple of glue books with me, but I didn't bring any. I didn't keep any of my stuff. You guys, I think it was hard. It was so silly. It was much harder me letting go of my bits and pieces than it was of me. It was harder letting go of stupid stuff, like magazine bits and pieces than it was me letting go of my serious stuff. Kitchen stuff, let it go. Whatever, let it go. But it was it was not easy. It was silly. It's so silly. So silly. And I kept some of my paints. I didn't even keep all of them. I donated my kilns to a school. I have a friend that's a jeweler. I gave him a ton of my jewelry stuff. I let go of a lot of stuff that one might go, oh, that would be hard to let go of. No, my collage, my cut up magazine bits. That was so silly, right? I'm going to look and see what's in this Nat Geo. I did get back on what is it called? Not Free Cycle. What's it called? Oh my gosh, guys, where you get the free magazines. I love hanging out with you guys. Oh, your grandson's 9 months. He's so beautiful, Renee. He is so, so beautiful. You love your grands, Deb. You have 8. You have 8 grandkids. Oh wow. I don't have. I would like one, just one, just one. But if you talk to my kids, they're like, when the world becomes a better place. And I was like thinking, that's what we all thought, right? And I said, well, it's never, I don't know if that's going to, I don't know if your idea of a better place is going to happen before your biological clock stops ticking. Oh, yeah, we do have deep conversations. I agree with you. I love you guys. I've missed you guys so much. It's been so silly. It was just so silly. It's just, I know unless you've ever experienced like hanging out with a bunch of like-minded, crafty people, you don't really know what it is. And I was trying to explain that to somebody. It's like, I can't explain it. It doesn't work out to explain it. It does not work out to explain it. I don't know why I like this picture so much, but I do. You know what I think I'm going to do? I think I'm going to glue it like back here. I'm going to glue it on this thin page. People, I don't know. You know what I mean, though, because you guys have experienced it all. The same with me. It's like you go and you just have really, really deep, meaningful conversations with people that you love and that you have a like-mindedness with, even if it's cutting up trash for art or whatever. But did you guys see? I'm so out of the loop, but did you guys see? And I love her, Lori Marie Jenkins. She's moving to Costa Rica. She and her husband selling the entire contents of their life and moving. I was like, whoa, that is amazing. Did you guys see that? You guys probably already know it. And I'm just like the last one in the line, right? You lost your key to wind up your biological clock. Oh, Bootsy. Oh my gosh. I don't know. Like I was trying to have a conversation with one of my friend's daughters the other day. We were talking about, she's heading off and she went to community college for a couple of years. And she was like feeling like she really missed out. But I said, you really didn't, because the pandemic it wouldn't have been like regular college. And I was just trying to tell her to enjoy it because she's super stressed out. And she's like, like I can tell. And I said, just try and enjoy it. I said, it'll go so fast. I said, you won't even realize how fast it's gone until it's done. And, just trying to have that conversation. Cause I was like thinking like when I was her age, what do I wish somebody had said to me? Like when I was her age, what didn't I hear? Or, cause sometimes you can't hear it from your own parents, but you can hear it from, their friends. Your parents' friends. So I was just trying to tell her to enjoy her ride, that it goes so quickly. And I didn't even know if I was even making any sort of headway with her because she was so stressed out about, was she bringing this? Was she bringing that? Was she whatever, the stuff that we stress ourselves out with that really isn't important, but we don't realize that till we're like 58. Anyway, so my friend called me back. She called me because I was talking to them on speakerphone together. And then anyway, she called me back and she goes, I think what you said, something hit home. I'm like, oh, that's good. I said, why do you think that? She goes, well, she's unpacked. And she said, I'm not taking any of that. None of that's important. She goes, I'm going to take what I love. And I started to laugh. I go, well, I hope that was helpful. She goes, it was actually. She goes, because she was stressing out over like, if she didn't have the clothes or she didn't have the silly stuff. And I said, just take what you enjoy. Take what makes you feel good. Take what you enjoy wearing. That was my big thing. It was like, don't take a bunch of stuff that you're going to be like, why did I bring this? I'm going to have to tape this down. I don't have any masking tape. Girls, masking tape is my favorite thing because I must have split that one up too much when I cut it for the pocket. And new roller skates, right? You got a brand new key. I love her adventurous spirit too. I love, you guys, I've been so out of the loop. I haven't watched anything lately. I have, I watched a few cooking videos, a few keto cooking videos to remember how to make a recipe because I made this. You guys, I've been doing keto diet almost 3 years now. And I have to tell you, my health has vastly improved. My arthritis, I had very bad fibromyalgia prior to starting keto. I had very bad fibromyalgia. I had very bad, I would think it's probably the beginnings of rheumatoid arthritis. And I had all kinds of stuff, you guys. Like, man, because I never talk about it because I feel like, why talk about it? And I've been doing this. So one of our crafting mamas, Val, started a keto diet and said that she was here earlier. She's moving to Arizona and said that she was pain-free and all this stuff. And I thought, oh, I'm doing it. And I did. And I've been doing it. I've been very good for like 3 years. I mean, I did for a minute there when we were leaving Hawaii, not eat as rigidly keto because we were just trying to eat everything in our fridge instead of going to buy more food. And I felt the effects of it. So as soon as we got here, I went back on keto full time. I mean, there was no no cheating for me. And it's not really cheating, you guys. It's a lifestyle. It's not like, but I will say there is this YouTube person her name is Heavenly Fan. And she's a vegan keto. I'm not vegan keto, guys. I eat meat. I'm not vegan by any means, but she has this vegan keto bread recipe that I have to tell you is thebomb.com. And I'm going to need some masking tape. I don't even have any masking tape. I mean, I must have some somewhere, but not back here. Anyway, if you feel the need and you're doing keto, go watch her. She's got this vegan keto bread recipe I make it all the time. And I made it for Blake and I. And so I sometimes watch that. Guys, by the time the end of the day comes, I'm so tired. I'm like lucky if I get anything done. Like I'm like out, and turn on the television for 5 seconds and I'm out like a light. So I did not know that Lori Marie Jenkins, I think I watched a video when I was in Hawaii with her and her husband that she was leaving, but I don't think guess I didn't put it in my head that it was like soon. I mean, and I'm like, wow, I think it's super awesome. Good for them, Good for them. But I guess I thought it was like further away than it was. But I think it's awesome. I think it's super awesome. You've been talking about retirement, but you can't leave your grandkids. I get it. Well, I don't even have any grandbabies. That's why I was telling Blake. I said, what if we decided? Because we've talked about like once Seisha's out of school, like we want to live in Spain or Portugal or just go somewhere and live. We've talked about it off and on, right? But by the time we go to do that, my other ones will finally have a baby, and then I'll be like, I don't want to go. I don't want to leave our grandchildren. But I will say, you guys, I love this house. You know, I loved it when we bought it or when we saw it. I loved it. But I didn't realize how at home I would feel. You know, I mean, I've lived all over and lived in different places, but I don't necessarily think I don't know that I felt as home felt even the last house I owned, which was in upstate New York. I don't think I felt as at home as I feel here. It's kind of odd, right? Because I don't have enough stuff. I don't have enough. I need to cut out some more stuff. I don't have enough stuff that I'm like going, I love that. Okay, I already wanked out the book. How did I haven't even started and I've already wanked it out. It's because when I made my pocket, I cut through and I thought I was taping it. Need to find my masking tape. Need to find some masking tape. I don't know. And I can't even tell you why this particular house. I mean, but it just feels that way. You've been talking about retirement. Yeah, I get it. You have 3 grands and 1 on the way? Oh, Dana. How many kids do you have, Dana? Well, you'll have to let us live vicariously. You'll have to let me live vicariously through you guys, because I'm telling you, my kids, they are not having children. One of my daughters told me the other day that she was going to wait until she and her husband could both stay home and raise their children together before she had kids. And I was like, wow. I mean, I think that's a wonderful, lofty idea. I don't know how many people can really manifest that, but hey, knowing her, she will. She's a manifester for sure. Aw, mine said yesterday, would I take care of the new one? I was excited that they're thinking of another one. Aw, Sherry, that's sweet. Aw, that's awesome. That is so awesome. Well, one of my kids, the oldest one, the one that's turning 30, is living in Mexico City. I don't know when she'll come back. She told me they may come back in the summer for a short visit, but I don't know, because I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. My other one, she left Maui. She got married during the pandemic, which was really, I was very surprised that she didn't want to wait to have but I guess, the pandemic seemed like it was going on forever and ever. And she got married right at the beginning of the pandemic. And his family, half of his family lives in Hawaii and half of his family lives in Arkansas. And, they were offered a really amazing opportunity moving to Arkansas. So that's where they are. And, she actually loves it. She says, she said she never thought she would, but she actually, she said, she had to get over a little bit of the small town mentality. And I said, well, it's hard when you haven't been raised like that. Your boys are still at home, so you have 3 kids, a stepdaughter and 2 boys. Aw. No, because I've seen your pictures of your boys, but I was like, they didn't look old enough to have children. But hey. Obviously, I collected this one because it had an owl. I have a thing for owls. Don't ask me why. Have a thing for owls. Guys, I gotta get my magazining on. I gotta get some more magazining on. I don't have I'm down on my collecting. Look at this guy. This is his artwork. His name is Leonard Knight. Made a pilgrimage to the Salton Sea 2 decades ago and has been painting God's praises on a small bluff ever since. Salvation Mountain, made of donated paint and adobe, has has been called a folk art masterpiece by some, a toxic dump by others. Ministers have asked to preach there, but night turns them down. My mountain speaks enough for itself, he says. Wow. Good for him. I always admire people that just go out on a limb and do that. I had a friend who like painted her house. My house is already painted crazy colors. Well, they're not crazy, but I don't know if I would have painted in this color. But I have a friend who like one of her bathrooms, she found all these angel dolls or all these dolls she made into angels. And she put them all over her bathroom. There must be like 200 or 300 of them. And, you know, I don't know if I'm brave enough to do that. Are you guys brave enough to do that? Are you guys brave enough to like go through and put crazy things on your walls? I don't know if I am. I mean, I don't know. I guess we'll see as we go along in this house. This house is and we do need to repaint the house, but you know what? It's fine for right now. I'd rather do the kitchen first. I mean, painting is really nothing except that this house is 116 years old. So you can imagine what we have to do. The kitchen, that has been my focus. I've kind of been looking on Facebook Marketplace. They used to have this happen in Hawaii. I don't know if you guys are very familiar with it, but people would buy a home and it would be freshly done. I mean, somebody would have just renovated it and they'll come in and tear out everything and give away and give away the, the cabinets or whatever. So I've been on the lookout. I know what kind of cabinets I want, and I've been on the lookout. I told you I found that butcher block countertop. But I think I'll show you guys my kitchen next week and you'll see exactly what I mean. You'll see exactly what I mean. So I lived in a house where we redid the kitchen. It took, oh my gosh, how long did it take it? Because we did it ourselves. It took us about probably a year. I don't want that to be the case here. But and I need a bathroom on the first floor. This house has 3 bathrooms. 1 is in the basement and 2 are on the second floor. The kind of cool thing about it is the one in the basement, and you guys, this basement has like a coal chute. This house was built in 1905 or 1906. So the cool thing about the basement one, first I was like, who would put a full-on bath in a basement? And Blake met one of the former owner's granddaughter, who is maybe he was the original first owner. He was a doctor. And she said, well, he used to come home and come down the stairs and go from the outside into the basement and throw his clothes. Think about it. 1905, 1910, all that stuff. Throw his clothes in the fireplace if he needed to, or in the fire. And he would get himself all cleaned up, and then he would come upstairs. So that's why there's a full basement. There's a full bathroom in the basement, because the guy was a doctor, and all those infectious diseases back then, right? So that was kind of cool to find that out. It made much more sense, because if there's a full-on, I'm telling you, big cast iron bathtub down there. I mean, I don't even know how they got it in. I know I got to start hitting rummage sales. Hopefully soon. Hopefully soon I will. And so that's the reason. But it needs a bathroom on the first floor, you guys. It really does. It just needs like a small half bathroom. There's a perfect place for it. So that's my first. I mean, I don't know if the bathroom comes before the kitchen, or the bathroom might be easier than doing the kitchen, because it doesn't need, the plumbing is already there. That's the other cool thing, is that they have all these like kind of cool, they look like closets, but they're not. You open it up and they've exposed the plumbing behind it, so you can get to all the plumbing. So it's pretty cool. It is pretty cool. So tell me what's on your crafty make list? Like, what is on the crafty? What have you guys all been jonesing to work on? What have you guys been jonesing to work on for this coming spring, summer? I'm definitely going to get the quilting thing done. I'm definitely doing it. I'm getting it out. I'm getting the quilting done. We are doing the quilting no matter what. I know, it is crazy, right, Sherry? That's like so crazy. I was like, wow. I would have never thought of that. We've talked about trying to go down to the record, wherever you go to get your records and stuff, like from, and seeing if we can find the original blueprints of the house and seeing if we can find out who lived here and all that stuff. We've been thinking about that, but we haven't done it. I'm already going to have my first yard sale with all the stuff I don't want to keep that Blake's mom gave us. I mean, some of it's nice, you guys, but it's just like not my style. And it doesn't really fit in this house. Some of it fits in the house. Some of it like looks like it was made for the house. Like we got his grandmother's, we got his dad's mother's kitchen table and chairs, and we have it in the dining room, and it's quite nice. It's like, I think it's cherry. It looks like it's made for this house because it's really old. You're going to make a steampunk journal? Renovating gets old really fast. You're absolutely right, Sherry. I agree with you 100%. It totally gets old really fast. It totally gets old really fast. You want to do some more sewing and you want to grow more herbs and reorganize your craft room. Well, my friend Diana is sending me a bunch of heirloom seeds, which I'm super excited about. And then after I get those, I have put a few things in my cart from a little seed grower, a local one, that I'm going to like some, herbs and stuff. So I'm looking forward to that. Good for you, Renee. How often do you get to see that beautiful grandson? He is so gorgeous. Remind me of his name. It's an unusual name. I just can't remember it off the top of my head. And how's Oliver? I know if Liz is here, she's like, those damn big scissors, I cannot find, and I did bring them. You guys, I packed a ton of my scissors. I can't find where I packed them. Did you get an abstract? You know what, Sherry, I must have, because we got lots of paperwork, but you know what? I don't think I looked through it like that, but I will go back and look through it. I'm sure I did. Leighton, that's his name. I knew it was something unusual. I couldn't remember. That's so good. That's such great news about Oliver. Oh, beautiful. Bentley, Aviana, and Aubrey. Oh, beautiful. Aviana, I've never heard of. That's such a beautiful name. You know what? Thanks for that, Sherry. I'm going to have to look that up because I'm sure we did. I know we did because they send you a lot of paperwork. They send you a lot of paperwork. They send you a lot. You guys, I've missed everybody. Yeah. I watched a little of Michelle last night. I got to watch her on my phone, so I got to see that. Michelle and her crafty gang, which you guys should go over and check her out. She's so fun. Michelle Scott, and she's a beautiful artist as well. Um, but I haven't, I don't know. I've just been in my world. Been in my own world of like, I didn't realize how stressed out I was until we got here. And I've just been able to just sort of exhale, and not even 100%, but you know what I mean? And I'm like, wow, I was super stressed out and I just didn't even know it. It's like so silly, but I didn't know it. I was not quite as aware as I could have been. Oh, Renee, you know what I found? I found when I was moving, I found those crazy postcards I made. Remember I made ones and I was like, these are Renee's feet. If you guys don't know, Renee has been barefoot. How many years have you been barefoot, Renee? Renee is a barefoot advocate. She breaks down the barriers. But I found those postcards I'd made, and I was like, and then one of them was like Tracy's hands and your feet, and I found them. I was like, oh, I have to take these with me. Oh, you posted a picture of your grands? Oh, thank you, Dana. I love that, you guys. Renee's grandbaby. He's beautiful. Looks like he has Renee's red hair, if I remember correctly, Mr. Layton. Well, Oliver's red hair. You used to have red hair, right, Renee? Yeah, I'll have to live vicariously through you guys with your grandchildren. You know, it's so silly. So I've been looking for bookshelves for Blake. And, most of the time when people are selling their bookshelves, they're moving. It's not like they're just like selling bookshelves and nothing else. And like sometimes I'll see like, I don't know, kid stuff, And Blake, look, if Blake's with me, he'll be like, I know you want one, what you just want one grandchild. You never go barefoot. Renee goes barefoot everywhere. She is a barefoot advocate, and she lives in freezing cold Illinois, and she goes barefoot in the winter. How many years have you been barefoot, Renee? I have a friend like that, but she lives in Arizona. She's been barefoot for, I think, 30 years. And you know what? I never really noticed it because I never saw her with shoes on. And one day somebody said, are you going to wear any shoes? Because it was hot. She lives in Arizona. She's like, no, I never wear shoes. Renee is a barefoot advocate. She advocates for barefootness. And that's awesome. I mean, I think that's awesome. Yep, so I'll have to bring you guys along. I don't know if I'll be able to do it this week, but I might. I'll just see how far I get along with this week. But I'll bring you guys along on my little house tour. Now that I don't have house guest, so I can definitely do that now that I don't have house guest anymore. And yeah, get myself together to. No, she doesn't wear shoes in stores or hospitals. Oliver will forever be a redhead. He's got the most beautiful red hair. 6+ years. Yeah. You have to wear shoes in stores there. If Renee was there, she would be like, no. And then she pulls out the laws and then I don't think it's like so funny. Like they have a law in New York that you can go topless, like anybody. They can't discriminate between men and women. And I had a friend's daughter who decided she was going to challenge the topless for I don't know how long. And it was like a whole big old deal. See, we're conditioned to follow, right? Whatever they say. I mean, I can remember going into a restaurant where it says no shoes, no shirt, no service. They can't say that to you in Hawaii, okay? Because then nobody would be buying anything because a lot of times there are no shoes. Your feet are super sensitive. Mine used to be, but they aren't any. I mean, living in Hawaii, I didn't wear real shoes. I had to buy a pair of closed-toed shoes, you guys. I didn't even own any. But if you walk on the beach and you walk in the sand and you walk on the ground all the time, they become tougher. Well, I think that it's cool. Renee's been barefoot for 6 years, making her own statement. I don't know that I think I would be more conscious of how my feet looked if I was barefoot all the time. Because I know, like, when I was wearing sandals, or they call them slippers in Hawaii, I'd be more conscious of, like, painting my toenails and making them look nice. They're illegal in Illinois, but some places have them. They have them in Hawaii, but like people come from the beach all the time there. So, like, I don't know how well it works out for that. It probably doesn't work out too well for them. I'm gonna glue together some. You guys, I did make one junk journal since I've been here. I don't have it here. I made it down when I was sitting downstairs because I found all these old pieces of ephemera and stuff that I must have just, like, stuck them in a book and they fell out. So I put them all together in a little journal. If I find it for next time, I'll show you girls what it is. It's just a bunch of ephemera, but it kind of reminded me how much I love making junk journals and how I think it's, like, such a fun, freeing expression, and that you can't get it wrong, which is my favorite part of it, because you can't get it wrong. And so, I mean, I did make that, but I will show you guys. I have to get it together. Now, I will show you guys my cool 1930s magazines and my wallpaper books. What else did I get? My old cookbooks I'll show you. I got some cool old cookbooks from that lady's house. And I am washing all the fabric. Oh my gosh, I got the best fabric. Some of it, I don't even know what I'm going to make with it, but I'm, like, so excited for it, Yeah, I don't have I don't have a lot of beds set up, really. I have 2 beds set up. But I have wallpaper books, and I have wallpaper books, and I have a sewing machine, and I have my denim cut out to make my quilt. Priorities. Girl, my hair is totally gray. You guys, I have been gray forever, okay? And I used to dye my hair because it bothered my mother that I let my hair go gray, okay? I was just, honestly, I couldn't deal with dyeing it anymore. So I let my hair go gray. When my mom was dying, my mother had cancer, and she passed from 6 months to diagnosis, right? She passed. But she was super sick, and I went to see her. She was in the hospital. She had been staying with me in New York, and then she went back to where she was living, which was in California, and then she collapsed, and then that's when they found out she had cancer. So I get there, right? It's over Christmas time. My mom had just been with me in November, and I get there, and my mother's on, like, they have her, like, with a mask, and she's been, like, she just got out of surgery and all the stuff and what have you. And she was in ICU, and it was me. And then I had my now 15-year-old daughter. She was an infant, carrying her in like a baby bag, whatever, one of those baby Bjorns things. And my sister's in there, I'm in there, the ICU, the surgeon, Cancer doctor's in there. So, Mom, what can I get you? And she moves her mask off. She's looking pretty bad. She moves her mask off and I lean into her and she goes, dye your effing hair. We laughed until we cried. So my sister was like, I flew back and forth from New York to California, like probably every 2 weeks. And then it got to be when my mom was just in a transitionary stage and, she decided she didn't want any more treatment or whatever. And my sister was like, you know why she won't pass, don't you? Because you won't dye your hair. She goes, Mom told you to dye your effing hair. So I dyed my hair then. And then we had like a celebration of life for my mom after she passed, maybe a year after she passed. And my sister's like, you have to dye your hair for that. So then I used to dye my hair every time I was going to see my sister, so she wouldn't give me a hard time about it. But granted, I didn't see her maybe once a year because I was living in Hawaii, I moved to Hawaii shortly after that. And then she was living on the East Coast or whatever. So you guys, I haven't dyed my hair in so long. It's gray. It is completely gray. I think my hair has been totally gray since I was in my 40s. Probably before then. Hi, Bonnie. How are you, girl? How are you? You know what's cool about making this book is that you guys can go back and make it again and again or go over it. Even if you didn't like what you put in it, you can go back and glue stuff over it. Your mom had a standing appointment until she passed. Your hair's going fresh. Oh, Bootsy, you're hilarious. Boots, what are you sewing on lately? I'm telling you, I've missed everybody's stuff. I did see something Bonnie was making. What did I see that you were making, Bonnie? And I loved it. I can't remember now. You guys, I think moving time zones and decompressing has allowed me to let go. Allowed me to let go of anything. So I'm really not up on everything. You collaged a whole phone book. That's what it was. I love that. I don't have a phone. I used to have all these Hawaiian phone books. I don't think I have them anymore. I haven't collaged a whole phone book, but I have used phone books as roll-offs. Collaging is much better. Collaging a whole phone book is so much better because the paper in a phone book is so thin. Making it as roll-off paper is like, I have done a scrap dictionary, like an old thin page dictionary where I've glued stuff in. I don't think I did the whole thing, but maybe I did. Because I don't even know if I brought it with me. If I did, I'll show it to you when I find it. Because I taught a class to grade school kids. They must have been like fifth or sixth grade. And we had all these little dictionaries and we made jelly prints and there would be tons of jelly print scraps all over. And I did glue those into a dictionary, some of them, because some of the kids' jelly prints were just so amazing. And they were just throwing them away so that we would have collage fodder. But I haven't done a phone book. I don't even know can you get a phone book anymore around here? I don't know. In Hawaii, you could until COVID, but I don't know about after COVID. They used to have them in the supermarket. You could just take one for free from the supermarket. But last time I was in there, I don't think they had any. You haven't cut your hair in 2 years, Linda. I need to cut my hair. Okay, guys, I definitely need to cut my hair. My hair has gotten crazy long. And what I find with my hair now is that it tangles. Like I used to have super thick hair. And I think as I'm aging, obviously my hair is not as thick as it was. But I will have a knot in the back of my head from just sleeping, like a dreadlock. And so my kids make fun of me. And I was like to Blake the other day, because I had a big knot in my hair. Got out of the shower, had this big knot in my hair. And I was like, I think I'm going to cut it all off. But I haven't yet. But I'm going to, I think. I do. Can you tell I live in the country? I'm a hillbilly. Oh, Sherry, I don't think so. You did it over a whole year, Bonnie, and you love it now? It's full. Oh, I love that. That's awesome. They send a business phone book out. Well, get one, Miss Dana, and start gluing. Go watch Bonnie's video of her. She did a flip through of her phone book. It was brilliant. You know, Shannon Green, if I remember, and maybe I'm wrong, I thought she made a junk journal out of a phone book. Am I wrong? A long time ago? You know, I love some Shannon Green. I miss her. I have not. I saw her post the other day on Facebook that she was making something, working in a planner. I was like, girl, me and a planner are not friends. Okay. I can collage in a planner just the same way I'm collaging in this book, but I can't. You guys, I don't know what's wrong with me, but writing stuff down, I don't know. I have an aversion to it, I think. You know what I mean? In a planner. I now have friends that have bullet journals and they love it and they write down all their stuff and whatever. Guys, my idea is a scrap piece of paper. I love Shannon Green. I haven't seen you guys. I don't even know if she's made any videos lately. Has she? She may have, and I'm just like out of the loop. Because I'm out of the loop of everything. I'm out of the loop of everything. I'm out of the loop of, oh, look, the cat. I don't know if she's going to jump up here, but she's missing my daughter so bad. That cat and her, that cat's like her spirit animal or something. I mean, that cat like misses that girl so much. You never made a glue book? Oh, girl, you got to make a glue book. A glue book is so fun. You're working on a project for Meridell's March video hop right now, and you just uploaded a recycle vid for Feb's video hop. I'll have to go watch it, Boots. You guys, I'm telling you, it's like the day gets away from me and I have all these grandiose plans and then, yeah. You don't think you've seen one in a year? You guys, if she was making them, I probably would just be out of the loop, you know, because it's just how it's gone for me lately. I've been out of the loop for a lot of different things. I am not in the loop. I feel like I lived the past few years in the pandemic of Hawaii, which was so, you guys, it was very weird there because, you know, it's a big tourist community and there was like nothing. It was quite frightening. I don't even know if it's fully come back. I don't think so, but I don't know. Some of my favorite little restaurants that were great little mom and pops are all gone because they couldn't hold out, you know, or they can't find, because the rents and the cost of living has gone crazy high since everybody can work from home. Lots of people are moving there and taking up what affordable rentals there are. So it makes it like insane for a person to rents were already insane. And so lots of little places are going out because they can't find, because there's no workers, you know what I mean? It's like, the workforce is gone. So it's kind of a sad time, but hopefully it will all just bounce back. Hopefully it'll only be a momentary. See what I did is I cut all the way through. This is why I need my masking tape. I cut all the way through the bottom of my of my little pocket here. I cut all the way through it. So there's a hole down there. You know what I might do is maybe I'll make a double pocket and I'll just take some pages out on the inside. Because what happens is, especially in one of these books, you definitely need to, if you're cutting them out or tearing them out, you need to reinforce it because it's like a, what do you call it? Like a thing where like with one comes out, a whole bunch will come out. So I need my masking tape to go back and fix my boo-boo of cutting the hole all the way through. Renee, that's the only way to be. To be authentically happy with yourself and don't care what other people think. I don't care what other people think. I don't even care what people that I know think about me. Like, Blake and I were talking about his family the other day. Something happened, and I was like, I haven't talked to them or whatever. Because, you know, the one deal that he and I made when we got together was I said, I don't do in-laws. And he was like, okay. Because I had already experienced that. And I'm not saying all in-laws, but I had already experienced like a relationship with very strongly influenced in-laws. Is that a kind way to put it? And so I just was like too old for it. So I was like, I don't do in-laws. So we were talking about something. And he goes, I don't care what they think about me. He goes, I don't care. Because I was like saying, what if we like got rid of all the stuff that was given to us? He goes, so we get rid of it. He goes, it just made her feel better to give it to us. Doesn't mean we're obligated to keep it. Yeah, I definitely got to go back and fix my boo-boo. Yes, I moved back. I moved to my house and I love it. Hawaii Safe Travel ends the 28th. Wow. Wow, Val. Are you going back? Are you going to go back and visit or no? I moved to my new 115-year-old house, and I love it. You guys, it's got so many kind of quirky things to it. It's I didn't know that this would be a perfect house for me, but it is. Isn't that cool? Like I manifested the perfect house for me. And my sweet 15-year-old, she loves it. She's like, I love this old house. It definitely has some old quirky things. I like it too. It took you 70 years to get to that place. Now get out of the way. I have a life to live. Bootsy, I love you so much. That's why I love Renee and her barefootedness and all of you and your uniqueness. And I love that you share it with us all unabashedly. And I appreciate that because, guys, I let my freak flag fly all the time. All the time. You're going to go for graduation in December for your Hanai daughter's wedding. Aw, Val, that's so sweet. Yeah, Blake has to go back for some sort of a job thing. I'm not going. You guys, originally I was going to go with him, but I'm not. I'm going to let him do it all on his own. And I'm just going to love being here. I don't, it's like, unless it's something I really want to do, I'm not going to go. And I love Hawaii. Hawaii is beautiful. But I think I'm just going to enjoy being here for a little bit and figure myself out if I can, whatever that means. Did you guys see Barb Owen did How to Get Creative on Friday? I missed it. I don't know how I did, but I did. And I was happy to see her back for a minute. I know it must be incredibly difficult because I can't imagine losing a spouse. And she was married a long time, but I was super happy to see her. I watched the replay or part of the replay. I didn't even get to watch all of it, but I watched part of it. Bootsy, we love you just the way we are. You've never cared what people think? Your friend's vacationing in Hawaii in May? It's beautiful. Bonnie, that's so awesome that if you can be that way and be that way from a young age, I think that's liberating. I think it's completely and utterly liberating. You know? I gotta get on my cutting out things. I'm like, what? I really see you take for granted all your cutout pieces. All your little all your scrappy things, you take it all for granted. You're like, yeah, I got some scrappy bits. And you're like, not. I thought I had some scrappy bits. I don't really. That's so silly. Yes, we are ready for a liberation story, Bootsy. I'm ready. I'm ready. I know. She lost her spouse and so did Lisa. I know. And then we lost our lovely friend Holly. Oh, that made me, I have to tell you, I was around for that or for a moment of it or saw it. I was like, oh, she was such a sweet woman. She always had something so positive to say. I appreciated Miss Holly very much. Okay, Boots, we're ready for your story. Good for you, Miss Renee. That's awesome. Okay, Bootsy, we're ready. We are ready. We are ready. I have a bizarre magazine. Maybe I'll look through that. I love this picture. I love this picture. I got to get a big enough glue book to put it in. Okay, let's see. I liked this one, but I still don't have a big enough glue book. I love this. I don't know why. I think it's the orange and black in the hand. Okay. So you went to a place that had a clothing optional adult pool. Oh my gosh. So I had a clothing optional adult pool. So being easily shaved, you went out to skinny dip for the first time ever. And as soon as you got in, the water, a team of landscapers came and you stayed until you were wrinkled. Oh, I love you, Roy. I love you. I love you. Oh. Oh my gosh, that is so funny. That would be me, okay? That would totally be me. That would totally be me. Oh my God. We love you, Roy. You're the best. You know, they have nude beaches on Maui. People go there all the time. We took my father-in-law there, but we took Blake's dad there, and he was like, "There's naked people. There's people." He was so shocked. I was like, "Oh my God." So, what are you working on now, Miss Bonnie? You guys, during the pandemic, I think my mojo just like left. Like, I was in I had a crazy job that was stressful at somewhere in the middle of the pandemic. And then we had to move. Remember, we moved because they sold the house you're living in. And then we had Blake's dad and him running away and all that all the time. That was like, and my kids were with us for most of the pandemic because they couldn't get off the island because they, my son-in-law at that point in time, I think, was working in China. So I don't know, you guys. I think I could have been more productive for myself artistically during the pandemic, but I wasn't. Well, I did sort out a lot of stuff and make piles of things to keep and let go of. Little did I know it was in anticipation of moving. I would have never thought of that. It would totally be me. Oh, Sherry, you're perfect. Oh my God. You were afraid they thought you were a woman going to tell us you're too much. Oh no, it's flooding where you are? Yeah, I have a friend who sent me some pictures. He happens to be in America, but his child and his child's mother are there, and he said they've been going through a lot. Oh my God, Dana, that is brilliant. Oh my gosh, that is so brilliant. I hope you took pictures so you could blackmail him later. Oh no, your garage is your craft room and you had to save it from going under. Oh, Bonnie. You did not need to see his physique. Oh my gosh. Yes, I can relate. That is so funny. Oh my gosh. Right? Some things seem like a really good idea when you've had a few to drink. Right? Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Guys, I don't even know what I would say, or probably would just start laughing. I don't even know I could say anything. I would be like, oh. All right, I need to find I'm not even I don't even have any I'm gonna pull out my rug book. Where is the rug book? No pics. Oh, Dana, I think that would have been like the blackmailing of a lifetime, right? Pictures of him naked. Oh my God. That would have been just so brilliant. I would have loved that. You could say, hey, pull him out anytime you wanted. So funny. That is so good. That is such a good one. And I think it would be me too. I think if I had gotten in the pool naked, I would have just I'd have waited till everybody left 2 boots. I don't think I would have. I don't know if I'd have been brave enough to leave on my own. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, that's too much. I don't know. Like a puppy. Oh my gosh. And he rode home with his head out of the window. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. He sounds like he's a lot of fun, Dana. I think that's awesome. Well, I love you, my friends. I am gonna head off and go clean up my burnt egg extravaganza before Blake gets home. I love you guys, and I'll try to be on more often. It was early morning and no one was around. You thought you'd be safe. Oh my gosh. Oh, good for you, Boots. Hey, but you did it. You dared and you did it. That's all that matters. You dared and you did it. Well, I love you guys so much. And I will I'm gonna try. It'll either be this week or next week. I'll do my house tour. It just depends upon I've got to figure out a camera situation with this with a with a stick. You know what I mean? Like I have to figure that out. Blake says we have one somewhere. He said one of our kids left us one. And I was like, okay. So that I'm gonna do. Well, I love you guys. Big hugs. You were 70, Boots. I love you, Boots. See, when I'm 70, I'll skinny dip like that too. I've skinny dipped many times, but not like that where I got caught by some gardeners. I love you guys. I've missed you guys so much. Thanks for always being here and being so loving and supportive and of each other. And you know what? We can all just say a few prayers and be a little kinder. And hopefully that ripple effect will head on out into the universe and we'll end all the goings on. Know that I love you. You guys are always in my heart. Big hugs and lots of love. I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.